Hey, everybody, welcome back to Film Discussion. And today we are going to be looking at superhero movies. And I am here with my co-host, Donald Wills. And
What's up,
we have a
everybody?
special and we have a special guest star today, and that is
Jonathan Moody.
there you go.
Moody.
Oh, thank you, Donald. I appreciate that.
So, and I see, Jonathan, you have up your Marvel Studios, but not DC.
I've got Marvel on my shirt, and I've got my little Iron Man mug.
Oh man, you are prepared.
I am
You
marveling
Marvel
out.
supporter.
I
Yeah.
know. This isn't going to be a fair discussion because I'm not a DC hater. I'm just not like DC isn't my bread and butter. I like Marvel. But John knows that. I'm sure Donald knows that from all my posts and
Same.
shit. So
I'm
know.
the same way, so I can't really complain.
I would say before Disney got involved, I liked Marvel. So
fair enough.
And I guess before James Gunn got involved, I liked DC.
I don't know. We'll have that discussion.
So where should we begin?
I say we start with the collection because we all have big collections and stuff, and let's just get that out of there.
All right, good idea. So why don't we, Donald? Do you want to start? Because you're right there next to yours, right?
I pulled them off the shelf here, and they're on a pile here, so I can show them off.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
I can.
All right, and then Jonathan, since you're the guest, why don't you go second, then I'll go last.
Okay. Sounds fair to me.
All right, go for it, Donald.
All right. I'm gonna start off with the DC collection first because that's the one I had the least of, and then I'll move into the Marvel. All right. The first thing I have is the Steelbook of Man of Steel.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh shit! I have that. Well, I have a.
Oh, it's the Steelbooks are nice. Yeah.
I have a Man of Steel one, but I don't have a Steelbook.
I still have not watched this movie yet. I need to watch this one. I've heard
just understand that's in my collection. It's just somewhere in my collection. I don't want to.
It's somewhere in your red void.
I don't trust you. I don't believe you. Batman vs. v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
And is that Blu-ray or is that the Blu-ray or like
the Blu-ray?
That's not 4K, right?
No, this is Blu-ray. I only have one 4K.
Okay.
I'll get to that when we get, when I get there. Suicide Squad, the extended cut.
What was Batman v Superman? Was that the extended one too?
The ultimate cut, yeah.
Okay, good. That's.
I believe this is both. I believe this has both cuts.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. But yeah, that's.
Were there two versions of that? Was there like a normal?
Yeah, it's an extended cut.
Yeah, theatrical, and then the longer cut. That's like 30 minutes longer.
Yeah, the theatrical cut is 151 minutes, and the Ultimate Edition is 182 minutes, so 3 hours and 2 minutes long.
It was, from what I understand, is Zack Snyder showed his cut to Warner, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is great! Now cut 30 minutes out."
It sounds like Warner's.
Yeah.
Stupid Warner. Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Nice.
So.
Yeah,
the extended cut.
Way to do it.
Wonder Woman.
The good one.
The good one.
The good Wonder Woman. We had that discussion. John and I, we both kind of sort of agreed, like Wonder Woman 84 was not the greatest.
It was,
but I did sort of argue for it for a little bit. You
did.
Yeah. Justice League. This one is Josh Whedon's version, right?
That's the theatrical, yeah.
Okay, and then I also, my only 4K, I have the Snyder cut.
I have a download of that, but yeah, I need to buy it. Does it have the black and white version on it?
I'm not 100% sure. I have not watched the Snyder cut version yet.
I think it does. I'm not sure. I don't own it. I saw it at Best Buy and I didn't get it. Just like I saw The Batman at Best Buy and didn't grab it for some reason. But I mean, both of them were cheap, like $10 each.
That's how much I paid for this. I bought this on Black Friday.
Friday, right? At Best Buy.
No, Walmart. Believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
So, Aquaman.
James Wan. Yep. And Amber Turd.
It was all right.
Amber Turd.
Shazam.
That's what
I enjoyed Shazam.
I don't have that. Shazam. I want to get that at some point. I just haven't bit the bullet yet. Joker. Don't have that.
Still need to get that one too. Yeah.
Still need to get that.
Maybe one of the very few unpopular opinions. I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie.
No, it's not an unpopular. That's sort of mixed. I hear a lot of people say they're not fans of that one, as well. So, fair enough.
Oh,
if you are a fan of that, you need to go.
I wasn't a fan. And then John's favorite. And John's favorite movie. The only one that doesn't have.
Oh my
Jonathan
eyes.
Moody's favorite word, a slippy dippy.
No slippy dippy.
No slippy dippy. You all right, John?
Two of the worst ever. Oh my God. It took me. Harley Quinn took me. So first I watched a bootleg of it, like a camera copy, because I refused. Birds of Prey. Yeah. I refused to go watch it in the theater. And I fell asleep. And I thought, okay, it was probably because I was watching a crappy cam copy, which I normally don't do, but I did do it. And then I watched it as a like the regular like HD copy, fell asleep again, and then watched it the third time, fell asleep again, and went, fuck it. And I scanned through the whole movie just to see the ending. And then, so I guess now I've watched it. So it's like 3.5 times just to get through that thing. Oh my God, it's awful.
I only watched it once. I wasn't a fan. I mean, everything past Joker, I was not a fan of. I enjoyed Aquaman for what it is, but even with Amber Turd.
Well, I guess that is the film that Mary, Elizabeth Winstead met Ewan McGregor on, and they got married. So,
there you go. What, Aquaman?
All right. Aquaman?
No, the Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay. Birds of Prey one. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so moving on to Marvel. I got Iron Man. This is the Ultimate 2-disc edition on Blu-ray. Iron Man 2. I have this in, I guess, in order of phases, I believe. So, Iron Man 2.
He'll correct you if you're wrong.
Thor. I do not have the Incredible Hulk, so.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I like it, but
I want to own it. I've seen it. I've just never. I think I have it on DVD, but not on Blu-ray.
I have it on 4K only because it was $10 at Best Buy. So once again, another $10 buy. And like if I see a 4K for $10, I'm going for it usually.
Why not?
Unless it's DC, apparently.
Captain America, and no, this is not the 3D. This is the only version I have. I bought this from a pawn shop, and somebody, I don't know if they turned it in this way or someone stole the 3D copy.
Oh.
So it's just the Blu-ray. The Avengers, of course.
Nice.
Iron Man 3, which it wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't.
Oh,
I
have plenty of things to say about that when we get to
it. I'm sure you do. Thor: The Dark World,
which I liked more than I guess other people. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Captain America: Winter Soldier.
With Black Widow doing some weird stance. She's all crooked.
Been a while since I've seen that one. Guardians of the Galaxy. These are fun movies.
Nice.
They are. Chris Pratt.
James Gunn. Your favorite guy.
He was.
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I like the red case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just wish. It's funny. I think Phase 2. If I had these right, Jonathan, don't kill me.
I won't kill you for it. I think it is phase 2 because I think Avengers ended phase 1. Ant-Man ended phase 2. Yeah, so that's the end of phase 2 right there.
2. Okay. I have these in phase order. It's my
you're doing a really good job.
Captain America: Civil War.
Yep, I love that one. That's actually probably up there as one of my favorites.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I liked it. That's one of the very few I've watched multiple times. So
I'm still liking them.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, still liking them.
Doctor Strange.
We haven't hit that Disney yet.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was fun.
Yeah. Is that with Falcon? Is Homecoming?
Yeah,
Falcon?
that was with the Vulture. Yeah,
yes.
Or Vulcan. Vulture. No, wait. What did I say? Falcon.
You said Falcon, but
yeah,
the
Vulture.
Falcon. I don't know if he was in.
No. I was thinking villain. I was getting it confused. So yeah.
No, but Vulture. Yeah.
Vulture.
Yeah. Thor: Ragnarok. My personal favorite Thor.
Still okay. We're still doing okay.
My favorite Thor as well.
Black Panther.
Now we're going downhill.
You know,
no. I'm sorry. I take that back. Black Widow is where we're going downhill.
Okay. Panther.
Black Panther was okay. It's not as good as everybody says.
Panther. I thought it was the first time I watched it, I didn't like it as much. I don't know why.
You see, I think I have an answer to that. Okay. Because everyone and their brothers kept saying how this was like a mind-blowing movie. It was like the best movie
so overhyped
in like the last 10 years. And it was like, okay, it was good.
No,
but I wouldn't go as far as saying
I think you're right. I think I had the exact feeling of like going in there thinking this was gonna blow my mind, and then watching it going, you know? And then when I rewatched it, I liked it better, and I think it's because I got away from the hype, you know.
It was like a couple years later, my wife was watching it, and I sat down and I watched it with her, and I was like, wow, I'm enjoying it a lot more the second time around.
I think the more you watch it, probably the more you like it. I like Ryan Coogler. I like Creed and all the stuff he's done. In
my opinion, it's fine. I mean, it's no worse or no better than most Marvel movies. It's just not amazing like everybody was saying it is. It's like
I think they were trying so hard to get like an Oscar, nomination and stuff, so people hyped it up, and they're saying like I didn't see what the Oscar nominations are this year, but they were trying to say that their predictions were that Wakanda Forever would be nominated for Best Picture. I'm like, no. See that movie?
If it's the same thing as the Emmys, then it's just going to be the woke Academy Awards. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Emmys did.
After the slap around the world, I don't know what it's going to be like.
True.
Anyway. I don't even know who's going to tune in. Does anybody even care about the Oscars anymore?
Nope.
That's why they had to do the slap. I think that was all planned. Anyway, Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
Was that Endgame?
I enjoyed Infinity War.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
So we're still not Disney yet. So we're still doing okay.
Captain Marvel.
I think Captain Marvel was when they started going downhill a little bit.
Captain Marvel was the only reason why it made $1 billion is because it was sandwiched in between two Avengers movies, and they said you have to see it to understand the Avengers films. So that's the only reason why I did it. Otherwise, it's nothing. Once again, it's nothing great. They act like a woman never was in a movie before. I mean, it was just like, no, it's okay.
Don't you know that Jennifer Lawrence is the first action star, female action star? Come on now.
She is. Because of her, we had Alien and Terminator.
Even though that wasn't, Captain Marvel is not Jennifer Lawrence. I'm saying that Jennifer Lawrence was the first one, from Hunger Games.
No, we have Brie Larson, who is now not a favorite.
Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Endgame, yes.
The first sign of Marvel going woke. The very end, that one shot of all the female superheroes together.
Wow.
The very first, that was it. That was the stepping stone to Marvel going downhill.
My opinion, this is the perfect ending. This should be the
should have ended there.
Ending.
Yeah.
It didn't.
And then we
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, which I like. I like that one a lot. I don't know if it's in my collection because I did just put it up. But I have it, so it just might not be shown in this collection here.
I do not own a physical copy of No Way Home, so that's the only one I
own one.
I only have.
It's a like rental from I bought it from Redbox. You know,
okay.
So it's somewhere in my collection of ones that were bought from Redbox.
So the last 3 movies I have here are the only 4Ks, and as I was telling Jonathan earlier, the only reason I bought these, I don't have a 4K player yet, but the only reason I bought them is because they have slipcovers.
I would probably.
He's a stickler for Slippy Dippies.
Slippy Dippies. Black Widow.
A film 10 years too late.
Pretty much.
Too little, too late.
Pretty much.
But it does have Florence Pugh, who is
I like her.
Very hot in it. So.
But I like her too.
Oh, so do I. I think she's gorgeous. So she.
I'm saying I also like her. I think she's talented. I think she's a great actress. So.
She's a good actress, but man, is she hot in Don't Worry, Darling. Oh my God, she's I think I liked it just a little bit more because of her. Okay.
And so you said Black Widow and was Eternals?
Yes, the Eternals.
Yeah. Oh God.
Have not seen that yet. I've heard it's 3 hours. I and
boring. No. It's not.
No, it's like 2.5.
It's like.
Oh, maybe it feels like 3 hours.
Maybe that might be accurate. I don't know. I thought it was okay. It's nothing to write home about.
It's fine. That's my new thing now.
It's fine.
It's fine.
And the last one I have, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Which I don't have on physical copy yet.
Oh my God! And that's 4K.
Yes, the only reason I got that is because I got it from Disney Movie Club.
Oh.
Disney Movie Club still exists?
Yes, it still exists.
Oh, surprised.
And I just watched that tonight. Wow.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all I can say is wow.
All right. Are you guys ready for my collection?
All right, here we go. Go for it, John.
All right, I'm also starting with DC, so I guess we'll all start with DC. Because it is I think it's my lower one. It might be about the same because now I'm showing my Blu-rays. I got more Blu-rays from DC than I do 4Ks and from Marvel. So of course, to start with, we're doing just superheroes, right? So it could be any superhero from the DC. So I've got Batman. The
Tim Burton version.
Yeah, Tim Burton version. Let me take this off real quick. You can see how crappy my room is back there. All right. So, yep, there you go. There's
always a good one to have.
Tim Burton Batman.
Still one of the best.
Classic.
My favorite Batman, Batman Returns.
That's a good one too. Yep.
Yep. Then we get the fun. Those are steelbooks, by the way. And these two, I don't know if they have a steelbook or not, but Batman Forever, which was the first Batman I ever saw in the theater. Because I was a kid.
Is that the one with Mr. Freeze?
No, that's the one with Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Yeah, and which was the one with Mr. Freeze?
I'm sorry, and
it's this one,
Riddler.
Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay.
Everything freeze.
Favorite and not, but not my least favorite DC movie ever either. It's bad. It's down there, but
it was essentially a 2-hour toy commercial.
Pretty much all of them
Bruce,
are.
Dick, it's me, Barbara.
Yeah, Alicia Silver's. Oh, she was hot though.
She was hot in that too.
Yep.
She looked in the suit.
So going back to Batman, we got Batman Begins, the Steelbook.
Good one. Ooh, Steelbook.
Yep. Then we got the Steelbook of the Dark Knight.
Nice.
You know, which I love this.
Why so serious?
I love that one. I love that back cover with Joker. Heath Ledger is the best Joker. I'm not so I like Jack Nicholson, but Heath Ledger stole it for me, I think.
I agree.
Then The Dark Knight Rises on Blu-ray. And this is not Steelbook. I don't know if there was a Steelbook for this one or not.
Probably.
And then Batman vs Superman, was it Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, the same one
Good.
that was shown earlier. So then these are in alphabetical order, not in any kind of other order. Aquaman on 4K. These are all my 4Ks. I do have the worst, but one of the worst movies, Birds of Prey. But I bought it because I'm like basically I want my collection. Like I want all the DC eventually on 4K.
So you want like good turd, good. Yeah.
Pretty much. Then Justice League, the Joss Whedon version. I do not have the Zack Snyder 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour, or whatever cut of it yet. I tried watching it, and every time I see Ezra Miller's face, I just want to punch the screen. So I just decide not to I don't want to torture myself like that.
The Zack Snyder cut is 242 minutes, so a little over 4 hours.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's long. They
long.
were going to do it in 1-hour segments. They're going to make it a miniseries, and then they just decided to release it as a whole thing.
They did on that. They actually released it as a miniseries on that DVD or that.
I don't know about the DVD, but I know when they did it on HBO Max, they did it in like 8 parts or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I saw it completed. I saw the whole thing. All in one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then
maybe they were going to do that.
The crappy Suicide Squad with Will Smith. I need to get the James Gunn Suicide Squad. I haven't bought that yet.
The Suicide Squad, is that the extended one?
I think so. Includes extended cut on Blu-ray. On Blu-ray though, not on 4K. So
the theatrical version is 4K.
Yeah. And then Wonder Woman, the good one.
The good one. Which
I didn't like at first. And my main problem with the first Wonder Woman, and I think we talked about this before, John. I don't like movies that take place in like the 40s and stuff. I don't know why. I'm just weird like that. So 30s or 40s, I don't want to see like that kind of era.
I guess you never watched Casablanca or Maltese Falcon.
I did. I liked Casablanca weirdly enough, but I didn't. And I like movies that were filmed in the 40s.
So weird.
I don't like movies that are set in the 40s that are like, this movie or Captain America, where there's superhero movies set in that time period. I don't like them. I don't know. Didn't like the first Captain America.
You crazy, man. You crazy.
I know.
Your brain be crazy.
I know. All right, so I think I have Man of Steel on Blu-ray, but I'm just not gonna go look for it. I don't have it on 4K. I know that. So Deadpool.
Good one.
I do have Deadpool.
First Deadpool.
I just don't know where it's at the moment.
That's my only. I think that might be my only Marvel Blu-ray. I might have one other one, but I don't remember. So now here's all the 4Ks. And these are in alphabetical order, not in... I did not put them in phase because they're in my collection of other 4Ks. So Ant-Man and the Wasp. Don't have Ant-Man. Avengers Infinity War. Do not have Avengers Endgame or any of the other Avengers. I need to eventually get those. Probably this year I'll get more of them. you know.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with all my Arrow collection and other stuff that I'm doing right now. Captain America Civil War. But I do have 2 Captain America, so I also have the Winter Soldier, which I don't know which one should be.
Now, is that one
late.
okay? It does take place during the winter.
No, it doesn't. It's just the Winter Soldier is the name of the character. Don't try to confuse me. Deadpool 2, which I have on 4K.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I think Deadpool 3 will be fun.
Now, do you have Once Upon a Deadpool?
Did that come out on DVD or Blu-ray or anything?
It came out on Blu-ray.
Okay, I don't know.
Is that the PG version of it?
The PG-13 version of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I need it or not, but
believe it or not, it is good for the Fred Savage parts.
Oh yeah, the Princess Bride style
He's
stuff.
been canceled. He's been canceled. You can't talk about him. You could say
Fred Savage.
FS is good, but you can't say his full name because he's been canceled.
All right.
Well, guess what?
Moving on.
Guess what, John? We've been canceled now.
Surprised we haven't.
Sorry, your show's been canceled.
Yeah.
Just pack up and move on.
Donald's pretty safe. I'm actually the one that says some crap I probably shouldn't.
All right. So next, Doctor Strange, the first one. I liked it.
Yeah, no, it's good. The first one's good.
It's a good one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I still need to get that one.
Oh, yeah, that was one that was in your collection, was it?
Yeah, that one.
I didn't realize that. The Incredible Hulk. Also, you need to get in your collection, apparently.
Yes.
Okay, I do have this. Okay. Wait, no, I don't. So I have this, which is Spider-Man Homecoming, but I also have Spider-Man Far From Home on 4K. It's in there in the 4K section somewhere. It's all kind of screwed up right now. Then Thor Ragnarok. And then last but not least are 2 different ones, which are Venom. Well, they're same though. Venom, Let There Be Carnage as well. With the Slippy Dippy.
Slippy Dippy.
So, yeah. So there you go. That's it. That's my whole collection of every DC and Marvel. What about you, John?
Well, I venture outside DC and Marvel in my collection. So and I just pretty much grabbed these, but I tried to put them in the same series together. So that it's kind of So first would be Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is a comic book.
I have that. I have a steelbook of that.
Yep, great movie. Love it.
Yeah, it's good.
I do have that too, but didn't know we were allowed to venture out of that. It's whatever.
Everything superhero. Whatever you have, doesn't matter. It could be anything superhero. So
I'll mention things if I have it.
No, Boris is sitting on my chair that was going to put all the movies, so I'm going to have to find a place. Okay. Then we have 300.
Nice.
Also have that. It's good.
I don't know if I have that or not.
And then
Zack Snyder, didn't he do that?
Yes.
Hey John, I had that on steelbook.
Wow. I liked it. But I actually liked this one too, and a lot of people don't like this, which is 300 Rise of an Empire.
I haven't seen it.
I liked it. It's a sequel.
I never saw it either. I just never saw the 300. I had no interest.
They're worth it. I think they're fun. They're anything before Zack Snyder really got involved in DC. It's better than all that stuff because it's just like 300 is better and all that stuff. Kick-Ass.
Oh, nice. Do you have Kick-Ass 2? Nice. The one Jim Carrey would not promote.
Which I don't understand. He's really good in it, and it's a good movie. So
because of gun violence. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he was against gun violence because of a school shooting.
every superhero movie has gun violence. I'm against gun violence, but it's a movie, so
Right, but he is Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I remember him being all weird with that type of stuff. So, and then The Crow.
Nice, I have that too.
And with that is the sequels.
Yeah, I don't have those. Though I like the one with David Boreanaz. I think it was the last one, the Wicked Prayer or something like that.
Yeah, he's like
Edward Furlong and David Boreanaz. I like that one.
Yeah, I think these kind of go downhill, really downhill. But yeah, I still like the second one. So because I think it's them actually completing a Crow movie, without any incidents. So I think they made really what they wanted, and then then the other ones are just like kind of like whatever. And then Constantine.
I have that on a 4K, I think, no, or Blu-ray.
Which comes with
like
a comic book.
V for Vendetta and some other ones are.
It actually has a comic book with it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
and The Watchmen. So it's got 3 superhero movies, all of which I've not seen yet. I haven't watched them. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet.
So I love Constantine. They're now doing a sequel to it.
They did a TV series too.
Yeah, it was not good. So it's still I accept this for what it is. Like, this is not Hellblazer at all. But when they did the TV series, they left out the smoking and the cancer part. So what are you flipping to? Oh, okay. So you got some hot chick up there.
I know.
And then a film that nobody likes but me, Supergirl. I don't even have the
Helen Slater,
Superman
right?
movies. She looks so good in that suit.
Oh, she was gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, and this is the limited edition. It actually it's been numbered, and
nice.
It's got the American version and the British version, and the British version is longer, like 15 minutes longer. So I really like this movie. So
that's on my list to watch. I've seen clips of it. It looks bad, but it's still something I want to see.
Yeah, it's up there with like The Punisher, the Dolph Lundgren one, where I'm like, it was actually better than I think a lot of people make it, out.
Yeah, it's not good, but it's not bad at the same time. I see what they were trying to do with, Christopher Reeve saying, yeah, I don't want to do any more Superman movies, because they even tried to get him to do a cameo in this, and he's like, no. So like, he was going to be paid more than like the budget of the movie, and he still said no. So, but I liked it. I think it's worth checking out. I do consider these to be comic books. They didn't start as comic books, but they turned into comic books. And these are total comic book movies. So I am counting these, which is Darkman. Darkman trilogy.
I have that on Blu-ray.
Yeah, so I do consider this is a comic book. So, and we got it's Sam Raimi. So
Sam Raimi, his first before he did Spider-Man.
Speaking of Sam Raimi and Spider-Man, we got Spider-Man.
Nice.
And then we got Spider-Man.
I gotta get those on 4K.
We got to get 2.0. Spider-Man 2.0. It's longer.
It's longer.
Yeah.
Longer is sometimes better.
I think this works better.
I'm gonna have to track that down.
Yeah, this is so. And then of course the Spider-Man 3.
Emo Peter Parker.
I heard that Sam was so upset with the studio because the studio pushed like Venom on them, Venom. And they were not planning. He was just planning to have like 1 villain or whatever, 2 villains. Yeah, they had like 3 villains basically and stuff, and it just became a clusterfuck of stuff, and it failed, and they weren't able to do Spider-Man 4 like planned, and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, because this is like Sam Raimi in the studio working together, and they have a huge hit. So what do? They go, Sam, you have absolute total control. So then we get Spider-Man 2, which is a Sam Raimi movie. I mean, this is a pure 100% Sam Raimi movie with all the camera work and editing and everything. So then what does the studio do? You know what? That made more money than the first one. Now we're going to interfere with your shit. You're under contract. You're going to add in all these monsters that you don't want. You're going to have to do all this stuff you don't want. And nobody's going to like it.
Yep.
So when the studio and the filmmaker work together, it's okay. When the filmmaker seems to work together or by themselves, it's okay. But studio meddling, that you get Spider-Man 3.
I think I may be the only one here that actually likes Spider-Man 3.
You may be.
You may be.
You may be.
I mean, to be fair, I grew up with these movies, so that might play a part.
I did forget. I have, and you're probably gonna you might bring these up. I don't know, but I do have on Blu-ray The Amazing Spider-Man, which I did not bring out because I forgot.
We may be bringing that up. So, my next one, and Donald had mentioned what we think is our favorite. So at least for DC. This, I still think, is the greatest comic book movie ever made.
Watchmen, nice.
Which
I still haven't seen.
Look at that. Look how thick that is.
I need to watch it at some point. But what is that like?
You need to get the complete story, and it's a giant box set that gives you. I waited like over a year for this thing. So you get here the ultimate cut, then you get special features, and then the digital copy on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also get the animated movie that they did.
Wasn't there a version that had the animated movies and the movie put together and made like
it's
a 4-hour?
It's this.
Yeah. Is that it? Okay.
Yeah. Where the kid is at the newsstand and he's reading the comic book, and it's with the pirates.
Oh, yeah. So when he's reading the comic book, it goes into the animated part.
What is that called? The Watchmen what?
The complete story.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, I mean, except for they did change the ending of the comic book, but the HBO series that was only one season did follow the ending of the comic book. So it kind of combined this with the comic. And I could see why they changed the ending of the comic book, because I could see where people would think it was silly. But otherwise, except for the ending, this literally is a shot by shot, panel by panel of the comic book. And it's the best thing Zack Snyder has ever made, and he'll never do anything better than this. Everything after this,
he has been like pushing his like hands in all the, all the superhero shit. You know?
He's been doing it for a while. Then even Sucker Punch and stuff is very comic booky. But
I have that on Blu-ray as well somewhere.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, not a comic book, so I didn't bring it up. But yeah, this is everything he made after this is just a ripoff on this. So I think it's brilliant. It is great.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah, even with how long it is, I think I've watched it like 3 times now. And then
now, is that DVD or Blu-ray?
It's DVD.
Okay, so they don't have a Blu-ray cut of that.
I think you could get the Blu-ray of the Ultimate, but that's
I think
all.
That's all. There may be a 4K. I'm not sure.
And then Batman Begins. So 2-parter. It's like a 2-disc thing with the 3D cover. That's why I got it.
Batman, yeah, nice, and it's lenticular. That's awesome.
And then my steel case of The Dark Knight. I thought of getting it Blu-ray, but then I went, ooh, steelbook. So got that.
Wait, that's a Blu-ray though, right?
No, this is a DVD.
Oh wow, I got the Blu-ray steelbook. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I knew at the yeah, it's all Blu-ray. I don't think I knew at the time if this was out on Blu-ray this way. So I picked this up here. And then the Blu-ray of Dark Knight Rises with its like 3D cover on it. This would be what I would consider one of the worst if I had to make a list. Comic book movies. One of the worst. So I think they just wanted to get through this shit as quickly as possible and get to Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Then Suicide Squad extended cut. I do want to get the Suicide Squad. I still don't think this is as bad as everybody says it is, but it's not great. You know,
it's not. It's one of my least favorites of the DC universe, stuff or whatever. It's but it's up there with like Wonder Woman 84, or whatever, like.
Well, the David Ayer wants to do the Ayer cut, but I think now that's like totally out of the picture because this is not his movie. This was edited by a trailer company. So the studio did not edit this film. They sent it out to a company that makes trailers. And they edited this together.
Kind of makes sense to me. It does feel sort of trailer-like.
Yeah.
A lot of cuts and shit.
And then the theatrical Whedon Justice League, but I do have a download of the Zack Snyder one. And then Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Ultimate Edition, which I think the Ultimate Edition is 1,000 times better than the theatrical.
You did watch, you do have HBO Max, right?
Yeah.
Then why did you download? Was it before you had HBO Max that you downloaded it?
I wanted a copy of it.
Okay. Like, I mean, I guess
I
don't get that sort of thing unless you feel like they're going to get rid of it at some point.
I don't know. I know I have a download of it. So that may be how I watched it, is that I downloaded it. Maybe I didn't have HBO Max at the time. Maybe not. So that's maybe why. The original Wonder Woman.
Nice.
And
you don't have 84, do you?
Fuck no.
I would have thought you might have bought it without seeing it and then watched it. I was like, fuck, I'm stuck with this.
No. I would only get it in some way of like some Marvel movies is if it was in like a giant box set. So kind of like how Marvel did that suitcase, and you could open up the suitcase and it was all the movies. And I think it was supposed to be something from like S.H.I.E.L.D. Like that's how I would only own that stuff, is if Marvel did like a giant box set or 2 box sets, and that would be the same thing with DC. So because I can't own like Birds of Prey and stuff. I just can't do it. Man of Steel, which I think is still one of the best out of this.
It's really good.
DC.
And it's probably my favorite Zack Snyder of the DC stuff.
Of this new DC, it would be my favorite. Yeah, out of like this version. And then the 4 movies on Blu-ray of the old Batman. So this would be my second favorite. This would be my bless you, my first favorite Batman, but my second favorite superhero movie would be Batman Returns.
Nice.
So Man of Steel might be my third. And then we get into what you just brought up, Jonathan, not too long ago, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice.
I was going to pick up the other Spider-Man movies, like the Sony stuff, but it's like, fuck, how many times do we have to have the Spider-Man change? Like you didn't even give this guy his 3rd movie, and we're already on to a brand new Spider-Man. I just told myself I'm going to stop. Because I did. Yeah,
it's because, pick up 2. Which is weird, because I thought they would have had a contract for at least 3. But for
I guess this just didn't do well. That's why a lot of people were so happy to see. Don't tell me his name. Andrew Garfield in No Way Home, because they felt that was his 3rd Spider-Man movie. So, which is nice. So I think that's one of the reasons why people liked it so much, is he finally got his movie. So
I think No Way Home was kind of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3, and then Tom Holland's 3rd movie. So it kind of gives everyone a closure, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is nice. So, and I really liked Amazing Spider-Man. Was not a huge fan of Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I love the ending, which is why it pissed me off that we never did
because of the Rhino?
I love that. I mean, I love Paul Giamatti, and I thought he was great as the Rhino, and it ended on such a good cliffhanger. I mean, I love that they bring it up in No Way Home, where he goes, "Yeah, I fought a giant rhino," but it just sucked for everybody that they didn't get a part 3.
I really liked No Way Home because it was such a love letter to all the Spider-Man movies, and there was like there was always bits where they were like, you know, oh, I fought this guy. Oh, I fought that. Oh, you fought a guy. You fought an alien. Aliens exist. Oh my God. You know, right? And like each person, you know, I think I remember in the theater watching it, and the first time Andrew Garfield shows up, everybody applauded. Like everybody went
I could see
crazy. It's
that.
like, yeah, you know. Then Tobey Maguire showed up. Everybody, yeah. Like it just they weren't applauding when Jamie Foxx was showing up. They didn't care about the villains as much, you know.
Well, and the fact that he just wouldn't put on the makeup.
Yeah.
It's probably in his contract. I'll do it if I don't have to wear the makeup.
Yeah.
And
well,
I'll be quite.
Oh, go on.
I'll be quite honest. I kind of liked his version of Electro in the third Spider-Man movie in No Way Home better than I did in Amazing Spider-Man. Oh. It kind of went back to like his original suit in the comics. Like it was like the green with the mask.
That's what a lot of them are trying to do. Like Kevin Feige, creator of or the president of Marvel Studios, really wants everything to kind of go to the comics. You know, be sort of comic accurate with the looks of everybody. You know.
And then my last two is what I consider to be probably the best Marvel, definitely the best X-Men movie, not counting
Oh, I did have X-Men stuff too. Fuck.
But same here. I forgot all about X-Men.
I totally forgot to grab my X-Men movies. I don't know why, because I love X-Men. Like they're my favorite. Like growing up, Wolverine was my favorite, you know, character.
Cyclops was my favorite character.
Well, then we're gonna fight.
There you go.
Cyclops and.
Well, you guys have seen the Rogue cut of this, right?
No, actually, I own it somewhere on like the DVD, but I don't.
I haven't seen the last couple of X-Men. I've seen up to what was the first one they did where they were doing like the prequel.
Well, it was X-Men First Class. Yeah,
that's the one I've seen up to. I haven't seen it past that, so I need to get on that.
This it's a completely different cut of the movie, and it's called the Rogue cut because Rogue is in it. Rogue is not in the theatrical version.
Yeah.
Of what? Which one?
Of X-Men Days of Future Past.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So this is the version 2 scene because it says, you know, a new cut of the movie plus 90 minutes of never before seen extras, but this is the includes the theatrical and the unrated cut of the movie.
Nice.
So Rogue is the way to see it. And then I don't know why people really hate this. I don't know. I don't understand why. But X-Men Apocalypse, I thought it was good. I don't know what their issue is with it. They said it's like the series went up with Days of Future Past. I don't think I've ever
actually saw all of it. I saw some of it. I need to finish it sometime.
I've never heard anybody say anything bad about that.
No, I did see it, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't my least favorite, you know, or anything.
The one I've always heard people complain about was 3.
Yeah,
X-Men 3.
I actually liked X3. You know, like,
X3 is pretty bad. That's Ratner directed that one, and
wasn't that the first appearance of Beast played by what's that guy's name? Kelsey Grammer.
It might be.
Yeah.
He was a good choice for that. Yeah.
It's just funny because there's like Frasier is fucking Beast in this movie.
It makes sense because he's intelligent. You know, he's an intellectual.
Yeah, he is. It's just, but the makeup, the whatever they did on his face is terrible. Like that stuff was bad. But
they made a huge mistake in letting. So Brett Ratner should have never directed X-Men 3.
He shouldn't direct anything.
But that's true. Well, and he was canceled, so he's not directing anything anymore. And then the other guy who got canceled directed Superman Returns, who did the first two X-Men movies. I'm thinking on
Bryan Singer, but he also produced like all of them and shit too. So
I'm not sure how much of that is just not a name, but he did Superman Returns, and it should have been flipped. He should have stuck with to make his trilogy, and a good trilogy. He should have stuck with it and then just given
Brett
Ratner
Ratner did
Halloween
do
or
Superman
Halloween.
Returns, yeah.
Yeah, and then let him do Superman Returns, because that was not good. So Brandon Roth was great. He was really good as Superman.
A lot of people, like, I've been watching like a lot of stuff on Twitter about the DC stuff, and Brandon Roth actually said something to James Gunn or whatever, you know, just in a in a comment or whatever, and everybody was like, Brandon Roth for a new for the new Superman, blah blah blah. I'm like, come on, guys, he's yeah, he had his run, he had his try, and he's a great actor, and I liked him in the DC uh, Legends of Tomorrow show and stuff, you know, but
oh, does he play Superman in that?
No, he plays a completely different character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Superman Return has two people that are canceled in it.
What? Oh yeah, who?
Lex Luthor.
Oh, Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey got canceled too. So
that's funny.
Who hasn't got canceled in this day and age?
Well, you just said we got canceled, so there you go.
I mean, we're canceled now. I blame
like
John.
the thing to do. So it's
Brandon Roth plays Ray Palmer, aka the Atom. You know, so
I know the Atom. Okay.
So yeah, and you should watch DC's Legends of Tomorrow. A lot of the CW shows are actually pretty damn good. Like Green Arrow,
there's too much. There's just too much of it.
The Arrow, as it's called, because I don't know why they didn't call it Green Arrow, but they call it just Arrow. You know.
You see, my biggest problem with the CW shows is that you have to watch all of them to get the crossovers. And
that's how this works, you know, for Marvel.
I mean, yeah, but
Marvel doesn't have Batwoman.
That got canceled.
Took them long enough, but Marvel does have She-Hulk.
That's true, but you know,
didn't you like seeing She-Hulk twerk?
No. Possibly the worst thing that Marvel has ever done is She-Hulk. I mean, I can't think of maybe, and this isn't DC or anything, but Velma might be worse. But I think She-Hulk is definitely, as far as Marvel goes, the worst.
I wasn't a fan, but worst. I like the girl who plays She-Hulk. She was really good in Orphan Black. So, you know, I really liked her, and I wanted it to be good. The problem is they had people who I don't believe understand the comics as well, you know,
no,
like they have people who are just sitcom people, and they if they had really made it lawyer-like, which I've heard the new Daredevil is going to be lawyer-like, you know, like courtroom drama stuff.
But he's not Daredevil. They've already said it's not Daredevil. They've said it's like a completely redone. That's why it's called Reborn. Is that
it's not Daredevil? It's Daredevil. It's the same guy.
No, it's completely redone. It's the same guy. He's called Daredevil, but it's a completely different Daredevil. They're not.
Did you see him in She-Hulk? He was Daredevil.
No, you're not in the show. In what's coming up, Daredevil Reborn. They're making it. They're going to do a TV version, you know, so it's not violent. They're making him PC. So he's not.
This is true.
That's what I've seen. That's what I've read.
I think those are rumors, and I don't think that's true.
Because I've seen the Daredevil stuff in She-Hulk, and that to me was also not really Daredevil. So it was.
I felt like it was Daredevil.
You know, and the thing is, they didn't know how to write. They actually said they have no idea how to write courtroom scenes, so they watched like Law and Order episodes to learn how to write courtroom scenes. This is a fact. And it's all identity politics. So that's why they don't understand comic books or She-Hulk. The head writer is absolutely horrible and should never work in Hollywood again.
She will.
She is garbage, and it's what they did with She-Hulk, and I was a She-Hulk fan for the comics, which no comic book fan had a problem with there being a female version until now. Is they just did an absolutely horrific job on this. Just that whole scene where she's putting down Bruce Banner and saying, my life is so hard because I get catcalled or I get mansplained to. Oh, boo-hoo.
The chick who did it wrote like one of the best Rick and Morty episodes ever, but like
she wrote the
Pickle Rick, which was great. However, the two guys who were in who created Rick and Morty, they're getting canceled. So apparently.
So what does that tell you? And
Justin Roiland, I think is his name, is like one of the creators or whatever, and he apparently has sent sexual messages to underage women and stuff. And these are like actual shown screenshots and stuff. And Dan Harmon, I've heard, has been rude to women, but I'm like, I don't know that for a fact. Like, there's no proof of that as far as I know, like as far as I've seen. So unless that's an actual like documented thing that's online, I think that might just be people, like you can't always say that. He's also a creator of Community, so I don't know.
But look at Joss Whedon though.
Joss Whedon, he was terrible to women.
Joss Whedon. Well, we all loved him until he did, Justice League, and then all that stuff came out. But we loved him for Buffy. We loved him for Firefly. We loved him for all this stuff. It was like the guy was like the guy.
And everybody kind of kept quiet. I mean, that's the scary thing, and I think that is going to be a big thing that's happening in Hollywood now. Is that when you start being rude and nasty and just terrible to people, on your sets, you're not allowed to do that anymore, and you're gonna get in trouble. So Joss, hopefully, honestly, in my opinion, because I love Buffy and everything, and I'm scared of the woke Buffy that's coming, potentially.
Oh my God.
I'm terrified of that. Like, I think that's just gonna ruin things. But the Buffy, I would love to see. I think Hollywood loves a comeback. As if you're not too far gone, right? Like Kevin Spacey ain't ever coming back.
No, after he did all those weird cooking things where he did it in that southern accent.
Joss Whedon might have a chance to come back, and I hope he does. I like him. Yeah. What are your opinions, Donald?
I mean, I think the whole cancel culture is just a bunch of BS at this point. I mean, for God's sakes, who hasn't done something terrible? I mean, if you're in Hollywood, you've done dirt to get there. I mean, let's just be real here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really have no opinion on the matter. It's just, I don't know. I'm just tired of hearing the cancel culture thing because, it's... I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. And I think I agree. So I hope that some of these people do come back. Like, there's some people who deserve it. Now, Victor Salva ain't coming back. I hope not. I hope he never does, but he might. People seem to stick up for him because of the original Jeepers Creepers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I liked all four, but I don't think it has anything really to do with him. I mean, I like the films, but you could definitely see that the creeper is him.
He is a creeper.
That was the point, is that's why the creeper kept going after boys, So
just oh well. Yeah,
but I think cancel culture to a point, it does unfortunately weed out people that are kind of innocent. Like, some people just, it's like a witch hunt, and they were called stuff that they didn't do. But like Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman is I've seen, and once again, I'm going off videos. I don't know her or anything, so I can only go off of what I've seen. So maybe grain of salt with it. But you find out that she's the reason they gave her control of Wonder Woman 1984, and that's why it sucked. Is that it was studio and her, and actually Zack Snyder. They said that Zack Snyder had a lot to do with the original Wonder Woman, that he was there a lot, and that's why it was good. And that when she took over, she made these demands, and why the film has two beginnings. And Warner Brothers says, no, you need to cut one of the beginnings. And she said, no, if you have me cut one of the beginnings, you'll never get me back for part 3. So she threatened them, and Wonder Woman 1984 was garbage. And then when she did go to the studio, and this is when James Gunn took over, and she said, okay, well, this is what I want to do with Wonder Woman 3. And they said no. She says that she quit. Well, I've heard more about that she was canned. And because she's so difficult to work with.
See, here's how Hollywood, in my opinion, works. And I could be wrong, but a lot of times a lot of things are, and this kind of makes sense for most jobs or whatever. But if you get fired from a job, right? Nobody wants to go and say, and like I'm talking about like a regular job. Say you worked at Target, Target's going to make a statement saying John Ward was let go because of this, and this, right? That's
excessive
not
marijuana use.
Yeah, excessive marijuana use. Do not hire John Ward, because he uses marijuana, right? They might do it. They might do it if you try to call for a reference and they're like, well, we got to be honest. We fired him because he smoked marijuana on the job and, caught him and we just had to let him go. You know what I mean? Like, if they have to be honest about this stuff. But, I think sometimes people just will still say a nice thing about you, to get you to have another job because, unless it's ill will toward you. However, Hollywood tends to, there tends to be more to the picture, right? Like, Patty Jenkins got canned, but they have to kind of make it up and say something in a way because people are going to be like, well, why isn't she doing Wonder Woman 3? So they got to say something so she can say, I quit and make a deal with, DC saying, I'm going to tell them I quit, and not say anything.
Well,
that's my opinion.
I mean, you could see, and once again, these are videos, so I mean, grain of salt type of stuff. But if you look at her IMDb, it's like everything is canceled. Like she just cannot hold on to a film.
Well, and the Star Wars she did,
movie,
Star Wars, and I don't know what happened with the Star Wars situation with Rogue Squadron or whatever, but I think she just went a different direction than what they wanted to go with, and she holds.
And so they let her go, hence being fired. So it's letting go may be a nice way of putting being fired.
Well,
but
Scott Derrickson didn't agree with the way they wanted to do Doctor Strange 2, and it wasn't his, and it, I honestly could have been a better movie had Scott Derrickson been involved, maybe, but the studio is full in control of that, and they decided to go a different way. I liked Multiverse of Madness, so I mean,
it just should have been a Wanda movie.
Yeah, should have been Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness. I agree.
Yeah.
But and they should have made Wanda bad. Like, it should have been a movie where Doctor Strange was helping her find her children. Like I would have preferred that, and then they could have had a villain stopping them from doing that. Like I would have preferred that, and maybe that was what Scott Derrickson wanted. But they were like, we want Wanda to be powerful and scary and whatnot, and I was just like, I mean, I didn't mind. I like her floating up in the air, and it kind of reminded me of what's the chick's name from X-Men? you guys
Like
know what the
Storm?
Phoenix. Yeah, the Phoenix.
Well, Phoenix or Storm?
No, Phoenix. And she would, be up in the air.
I know I'm bad with the names. I'm not sure. I can't remember her name.
I forgot the chick's the actual character's name that
Like
ended up becoming the Dark Phoenix.
Famika.
No, I'm not talking about the actor, but the character's name that became it. It was I don't know. She was
You're the guy.
You're
the guy who looks everything up. So just look it up.
Lord, it's from.
I mean, we know what you're talking about. It's Phoenix, but before she becomes Phoenix, that's Wolverine's
she becomes
girlfriend.
Phoenix, but was her actual name in it?
Bob. Her name was
Jean Grey.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
My brain was not working tonight. I've already did one podcast and watched a 3-hour long movie. I am kind of beat from my brain,
Well, okay. So you guys, you did today watch 2 movies, or you watch 1 movie each. But so let's give your impressions on those, so it's not wasted on this. So, Jonathan, you're the guest. Go first.
Oh God. Okay, I was going to give Donald the chance to go first because
okay, Donald, go first then. Okay, go ahead. Sure. Whoever wants to go
first.
Go
if you want to go first, but go
ahead. Okay, I'll go first. Whatever. Just to in this. So I watched the Batman. I guess it's DC first, so the Batman, and I thought it was fun. It was good. It was actually the way I think DC should go. It's the route.
Did Batman sparkle in the sun?
No.
No sparkling for Batman. No.
But Robert Pattinson is strangely taller than I imagined him being. He was like towering. Either everybody around him was short, or he was just really taller than I thought of him as. Yes, he was actually a really good Batman. Like I liked his voice as Batman, and then I liked him as Bruce Wayne, and basically they made him a kid, instead of like Michael Keaton, who was already in his like late 30s or whatever when he did, Batman, so it's nice to have like a 20-something-year-old playing Batman, And I mean, all in all, I thought it was a fun movie. Like I said, I think it's the way that DC should go, and because they had they had a ton of villains in it, but it didn't feel like they're throwing in a bunch of villains. They all felt like they were part of this world. Gotham felt real. The only thing they were missing, in my opinion, was the stuff to like bring in the next movie, necessarily, the post-credit sequences and stuff that kind of tie into the next thing, because this was like a one-off. This wasn't going to be the Batman, and then there's going to be.
Well, it was the Ben Affleck movie, is what it was. He was Batman, and he was going to direct it, and that all got canceled.
I don't know if it's the same script or not. It doesn't feel like this would have been written for.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it was originally meant to be the Ben Affleck movie, and he was going to direct it.
Yeah, originally it was called The Batman, and it was originally going to be Ben Affleck directing it. Then Matt Reeves took over, and they recast Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck had issues and stuff, and they said because he directed a terrible like a movie or whatever that he lost his chance, I guess, at directing, DC. Plus, then he also went into drinking, I think, too, and stuff, and had to go to rehab.
Yeah, he directed like 2 films that bombed, and so
he directed one that was amazing. Actually, a couple that were amazing. I really liked Gone Girl. I think In the Town is great.
I don't think he directed Gone Girl.
I think he did.
I don't think so.
Did he not?
No.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
I think he did.
I'm pretty sure.
David Fincher did. Oh, Jesus. I always thought he directed Gone Girl. What was
I
think I liked other than The Town?
Well, he did Argo.
He did Argo. Yeah. I didn't like Argo. I don't know. Once again, not into war movies. Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. The I really liked the Batman, but for me it was the same case as Spider-Man, where it's just like, God, come on, how many? Can we just stop? Can we please just have one Batman for like 10 years, like James Bond? Can we just stop and just just have one guy under contract or one woman to play Wonder Woman, that type of thing, and just have them play it instead of, oh yeah, I'm only going to do 2 movies, and then we have to do the origin story again. And then that person quits. Oh no, we got to do the origin story again. It's like it's which is why I don't own the Batman, and I own the other ones, and it's just like I'm just tired of it. It's just like, why do I have to keep buying like these? It's kind of like the same movies over and over again.
I mean, they kind of do that with like Man of Steel. Man of Steel sort of was an origin story again, wasn't it?
Right? Yeah, because he's a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, but now James Gunn wants to have him as a teenager. So now, oh great. So now we're gonna get that all over again. Oh good, he's gonna be in Smallville. We had a whole TV series.
I don't think it's teenager. He said younger, but I don't think he meant teenager. I think he meant in his early 20s. I think it's really gonna explore, my opinion, my guess, is it's gonna explore him as Clark Kent, when he was when he started working at the paper and everything. Which I don't know how they're going to do that now, if they're going to keep it in like
Superman
this time.
The movie, which did that exact thing.
Sort of. I think it's going to be similar to that. He's kind of dropped hints about that he rewatched Superman, the Richard Donner cut and stuff, Richard Donner stuff, and so I think that's the case, but I don't know. I have no idea. We won't know until James Gunn starts telling us these things. I mean, there's lots of different rumors and thoughts.
It up.
You think that, but I'm gonna give him a chance.
No.
I love James Gunn. I've always loved him since the Trauma days. You were always complaining, oh, everything's so woke. Everything's so woke. To me, James Gunn is not woke. He
will be. He will be.
I don't think so.
I think he will be. We're
not
going to get
because David Zaslav is not woke.
This.
David Zaslav hates woke.
That's he allowed Velma. He didn't cancel that thing when it should have been canceled. That should have, if he's going to remove Batgirl from existence, then he should have removed Velma.
True.
So it's I don't fully
maybe
agree
let that
with
slip,
Zaslav.
or maybe the thing is when he does that, he's about money. He's not about this is woke, this is whatever. He's what seems like it's gonna do well. Batwoman like tested terribly, so he was like, "Fuck that." The Flash tested well, I'm scared of that, because then all of a sudden they started giving Ezra Miller a lot of attention and helping him out.
Fire Henry Cavill and keep Ezra Miller.
If they keep Ezra Miller, I'm gonna have a field day. Like, I'm not gonna support DC after that, honestly. And keep me my word, I will not support them. I will like not be a part of that stuff, because I don't care about the Zack Snyder shit, like I say let James Gunn try what he's gonna try. If it fails, he's got like a certain number of years. If it fails, they'll find somebody else and they'll move on, and they'll probably try to figure out what to do with, with the stuff.
Well, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Zack Snyder. Like I never liked the outfits. I don't like the way they look. I don't like how the Flash has all the
you don't like the Flash being flashy?
No, I don't. No. So
he doesn't like the Flash being flashy.
No,
Donald.
No flashy.
No but flashy Flash.
But I will give Marvel credit, is even if I hated Phase 4, at least it was a continuation. Like you could go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to, and you could continue on with it. DC, it's like all over the friggin' place. Nothing matches. And it's like, it's getting to that point where just stop then. So that's, well, let's see. Well, Donald, what did you think of yours? What did you watch?
I watched Thor: Love and Thunder.
Wow. Probably, honestly, one of my least favorite of Phase 4.
That one is so bad.
So here's the thing. I didn't out of Phase 4. I've only seen the Eternals.
Oh God.
This one, unfortunately.
Oh God.
And Black Widow and the new Spider-Man. I have not seen the new Doctor Strange, and I haven't seen what's the other one? Shang-Chi or whatever it is.
Shang-Chi, yeah. I really like Shang-Chi.
I've heard everyone said it's good. I want to watch it, so it's on my list to watch. So that and the new Doctor Strange. I want to see both. You know, and the new Black Panther, of course. But those are the three I haven't seen, so I can't comment on any of them.
Right.
Oh boy. Where do we begin?
That cover says it all.
Oh, okay. Here is what I'll say. Ragnarok was probably my favorite Thor movie. How do you top this? I mean, this was Thor being a straight up awesome character to him being a complete slob.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to make Thor funny and fail miserably. This, he was making smart remarks. He was, you know, mocking the bad guy when he was enchained with that demon guy, and he's like, "Oh wait, let's spin back around."
So
it's hilarious.
I want to. John actually said something earlier today or whatever about the fact that when we were doing we did another show about the best and the worst, and we did talk about Thor: Love and Thunder, and the biggest thing was like that Thor well, and you also said you know, on this part that there's a that basically where they started Endgame was when they started going woke, you know, or whatever. Like Disney started interfering, I guess, and kind of doing that. And when they made Fat Thor in Endgame, and now they're just making stupid, incompetent Thor.
He's just dumb. He's a giant doofus. He's like, not intelligent at all. He's the butt of all jokes, and it goes the same way with like She-Hulk, where She-Hulk had to be better than Hulk, even though she's had no experience of being a Hulk. She's better than Hulk because she's a woman. She's better, no matter what. So now the Hulk is an idiot, and he's dumb. He's almost childlike. And then you have with Love and Thunder, you know, you have what's her name in the movie?
Natalie Portman's character,
Jane.
Jane Foster.
So Jane Foster. Yeah. So she gets, and I mentioned some of this earlier. So she gets cancer. She goes and sees the hammer, and that's it. That's all we see.
That's hammer time.
Hammer time. And then they cut to Thor having the fight. And the hammer kind of comes to him and it stops and it slings back and he sees her. And she, once again, she's better than Thor. Now the woman has to be better than Thor. Well, everything she does is better than Thor. And he's been Thor for 1 billion years. And she's been Mighty Thor for 2 seconds.
Well,
and she
in my
does
opinion,
everything better.
Also, the hammer is mad at Thor. For some reason, I forgot why. Maybe Donald can tell us, but you know, that wasn't the hammer mad at him. Like he said something to the hammer, like, "Hey,
oh,
you know,
he starts talking. He's talking to the freaking storm. The one that he crafted in was it Ragnarok?
Yeah.
No, Endgame. Was it? Yeah. One of the ones he crafted, and I think it might have been Ragnarok. It's been a while since I've seen these movies, but it was like, is he? Let's just be real. Is he having sex with this hammer at this point?
That's why it fell apart.
It's like, wait, what? Or the not the hammer, but
the axe, the
the
battle
axe, the axe thing. It's like, are you in love with this axe? What are you doing? You're talking to it like, no, 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 don't. It's not like that. It's my X hammer. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah.
like, see, that's the thing. Like, there's some kind of weird fucking shit going on with that stuff,
it's all
and
meant to be funny, and
right.
it makes Thor look like an idiot.
It's cringe. It is so cringe.
Well, and the director has to go around saying, "Oh, this is the gayest Thor movie ever made." Why does it have to be the gayest Thor movie ever made? Why can't it just be a good movie?
That happen to have gay stuff, gay LGBTQ stuff. And that's okay.
The gay rainbow comes off when they're flying through space, and like the flag, the pride flag, and I support all of this. I mean, I'm Democrat, but I don't like all of this stuff being thrown in my frigging face. Just make a good movie. Why does everything have to be about identity politics? Why does everything have to be about the message? Why do and in all these movies now, white men are idiots. They're either super villains or they're total idiots. And
or both.
Or both. And Black Widow is a good example of that. That it's either the super villain, like the James Bond super villain that has all the Black Widows, or it's the guy who's like the Russian superhero
from Stranger Things and Violent Night.
Yes, him. And he's like kind of fat. He hasn't done it in a while. He's kind of a doofus. He's kind of dumb. And it's like there's nothing in the middle anymore of having a white male, be smart. Everything is stupid. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'll even bring it, because I brought this up earlier, is James Cameron, who is now, I guess, totally going woke and saying that he cut 10 minutes out of Avatar 2 that dealt with guns, and that he bought the Terminator series back. He's going to reboot it, but it's not going to be like guns. The original Terminator. It's going to be different. And I get his message, which is fine. I mean, I get that Avatar 2 is about like whaling and stuff, which I'm against. But it's like, dude, your entire life has been based on guns. In every movie you have, they're guns. He's a womanizer. It's like, but yet he gave us some of the greatest female characters out there. And so it's like, I can't stand this anymore. I don't get what these movies are trying to do. And so I don't blame, Chris Hemsworth when he sits there and says, oh, I'm not going to do Thor anymore unless they make it different. I'm going to go, I got something wrong with my brain anyways. There's something medically wrong with him. And I'm going to go relax with my family. And if they want me to come back as Thor, it has to be a better movie. Because he knows how stupid this film was. He's just under contract. So I'm sorry if people find that offensive, but I can't stand this garbage. And that's why Marvel movies in Phase 4, except for Spider-Man No Way Home, have not hit $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And for Marvel and anything Disney these days, that means it's a hit. If it doesn't hit $1 billion, it's not a hit. So, and there's a reason for that. Now I'll get off my soapbox here, and I'll sit there and I'll sit back down. So now I'll let one of you guys talk after my rant.
I mean, my biggest problem is that I have nothing against I'm sorry, I get the thing, the LGBTQ. I'm sorry, I get those letters mixed up all the time. I have nothing against them. I have nothing against people wanting a strong female characters. I have nothing against that. But make it believable. Don't make it just because, this is, if the director did say this is the gayest movie ever. I mean, yeah. I mean,
yes, I agree. It's like, well, I'm sorry, Donald, go on.
No, I was gonna say there is a lot of I mean, I'm bad. I apologize. I'm bad with the names, but
No, the other one.
The Valkyrie,
black girl from it.
Valkyrie, I think it is.
Yeah, Valkyrie.
She's obviously a lesbian. Fine, I don't care. The rock dude's gay. Okay,
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah. Which was the director.
Yeah.
And
who is gay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Korg is gay. But they were also, I believe both of them are gay in the comics. So that was what they wanted to do, was bring them out, and because they didn't do it in Ragnarok.
I have no problem with that. Just don't shove it down our throats like,
yep.
I don't know. And as I said, like I said, the woke thing really gets on my nerves, but it's like I get to the point right now, I just look over it.
Yeah,
I kind of
do the
whatever.
Same.
It's like, whatever. I just want to sit here and watch it. But this was just pure garbage.
I mean, I just look at these movies, and when I saw it in the theater, it didn't sit right with me, but I didn't hate it. Like, it wasn't my least favorite thing ever, but like, I just we did a worst of, and it was in my dishonorable mentions, basically. Like, I didn't hate the movie to the point where I'm like, it's gonna be number one. Halloween Ends was my number one, but and that was only because I forgot about it. I forgot that it even existed, because I tried to wipe that shit out of my memory, and then John brought it up, and I said, oh yeah, oh crap, I forgot. Let me put that on my list. That movie's so man, and that wasn't even woke. It was just terrible. I
mean, like I said, I don't care about, like, if I'm here to watch a movie to be entertained. I would say I did enjoy the movie. I'm not gonna say that it's my least favorite Thor movie. I'm not that type of person. Like, I regret watching it. Will I watch it again? Probably not, unless I'm watching through like the phase in order. That's the only time I rewatch it.
But it matters how it's done. Okay, so you have the Orville, and which I think is actually better than Star Trek. And one of the characters on the Orville, who is supposed to be, yes, I said it, who is supposed to be kind of like a Klingon. He's like the battle guy. You don't want to mess with him. On his planet, everyone is male, and so he has a male partner. And when they have a kid, the kid is male. So this is their gay character. And there is a whole episode about every once in a while, a girl is born. And that's like, no. Now, we can't have that. And that's a big dilemma, is what do they do with the girl? And that's the whole episode about that. Does not bother me at all, because it's so well done that you don't even think about it, that they're like gay characters. You just think, oh, it's a planet of aliens. They're all male. And from time to time, a female comes around, and there's that. What do we do with it? With her. I don't want to say it, with her. And even Star Trek The Next Generation had an episode where Riker fell in love with a binary alien. And she's like, I can't be with you because I'm binary and you're not. And her people were going to ostracize her or them from the planet. Doesn't bother anybody. Nobody talks about that episode as being like, oh my God, because it's done well. But when you don't do it well, like Thor Love and Thunder, it's just throwing it in your face. I'll bring up Velma again. Fred is the only character that they kept, and they said it's because Fred is the whitest character to be ever created. And they made him an egotistical narcissist who is with a rich family, who has a very small dick. They bring that up several times, that he has a very small dick. And at one point, it rains and makeup comes off of him, and it has a Hitler mustache with the hair. And he's telling the photographers to stop shooting him, and he's doing the salute to stop them. And it's like, so now you've taken the main character, you've said or the white main character, you've given him like an inch-long penis, and you're now calling him Hitler. Really? Am I supposed to watch this show? It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like Bros in the trailer says at the very end, well, now that straight people had a good run, I guess I won't be seeing your movie then, because you obviously don't want me to see it. And that's the same thing now, I think, with Marvel and Star Wars and stuff, is that it's going, Star Trek too, with like Discovery, it's going so far in a left direction, and I am left, that these shows are bombing. These movies are bombing. I just saw this today, that Kevin Feige, well, might not be Kevin Feige, but it's one of the heads of Marvel. You are now obligated to not talk about China, because China now has two Marvel releases, and you are now going to have a script to, when you go on shows, to talk about China. So Marvel is now even bending the knee to China, which is one of the worst countries on the planet, just because they want to make money. And since Endgame, China has not had a Marvel movie, but now they have Wakanda, and I think it's Ant-Man 3. Okay. So it's like, Disney is one of the worst companies. They're absolutely awful. They're horrible. And their movies are showing it. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, I always say, if it bothers people that bad, just watch up to Endgame and just close off, or if you really want to, well, I would say Endgame would probably be the best cutoff. If you don't want to watch further, you don't have to. So I'm going to continue watching because I do enjoy. And hey, I still get a little excited when I see like some of these characters that, you know, have little cameos. Like, for example, in Spider-Man, we had Daredevil, the lawyer with the glasses. As soon as he grabs the rock and gets thrown through the window, you're like, Daredevil.
Right.
It's like, nice. So, I don't know. It's all stupid fun at this point.
But then they do stupid stuff like Ben Kingsley being the Mandarin, which was a great casting choice, even though he's the wrong, he's not Asian. But okay, he's Indian, but whatever. Ben Kingsley's a great actor, and he did a great job in those trailers as the Mandarin. I mean, oh my God, this is going to be great. He's going to do such a good job. And then he ends up being some drunk actor, and then they tried to retcon it by doing a short, like a 10-minute movie where the Mandarin goes to prison, and we find out in the short that was all an act. And I'm like, okay, they're retconning it. All right, so now he's still okay. So he's still evil. And then he shows up in that Shang-Chi, and he's a drunk actor again. Why the hell is he in this movie?
I don't know.
Who knows at this point?
I want to go back to the China thing. I just looked that up, and apparently China has lifted a ban with Hollywood, period. Not just Marvel, but they also just let Avatar: Way of Water come there, and that earned $220 billion just in China alone. So I think, I mean, of course, China is a terrible country, but they brings in a lot of money, So Hollywood is gonna sort of bend the knee to them and cater to their wills, because they want that money. They want that $220 billion or so that they're gonna get, because honestly, the box offices, period, haven't been as fantastic. Now, Top Gun Maverick has earned way more than any of these Marvel movies had. And that was not expected, but it didn't do China. So imagine what if China bought, has that movie, imagine how much more money it would make,
It probably would have hit 2 million. I'm sorry, 2 billion, if it went to China. But with Top Gun Maverick is China didn't like one of the patches on Maverick's coat. So they wanted it removed. And at first Paramount said, okay, fine. And then they digitized it out. And then I guess they went, no, fuck this. We're going to release the movie that we want to release. And they removed it. They took off that and they kept the original patch. And that's what China said, okay, fine, then we won't play the movie here. But it goes to show you don't need China to make a $1.5 billion movie. You don't need China when it comes to Spider-Man No Way Home. That also made over $1 billion. Just make a good movie. Stop throwing in identity politics. Stop throwing in the message. Stop making movies. Stop making movies where you start by a checklist. All right, so how many white characters do we have? How many Asian characters do we have? How many black characters do we have? How many Hispanics do we have? Okay, now how many women do we have? How many? Okay, now let's write our movie, which is what they do. So
here's the way I look at it. I watch movies to get away from the politics and the crap that goes on in the world. I don't want to hear about left, right, whatever side of the aisle you're on. I don't want to hear about that in my movies. I mean, let's just be real here. And so I watch this stuff to escape the world. That is what comic books were originally for, a way of escape. I mean, that's the same way books are. It's the same way any other movie is. It's supposed to be a way of escape, to go into another world and have fun. Take your mind off the real world, and let's focus on the problems that our characters are facing and how they triumph at the end. But no, we gotta have our politics and brokenness and all that.
You look at movies from the past like Die Hard. Die Hard had Al Powell, which was the original Vel Johnson in the movie, but they never make a mention about him being black. Argyle is in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, they never make it a big deal that they have these black characters in the movie. It just happened to be black. Right? Like, all that stuff. Like, it wasn't. They had an Asian guy in the movie. Didn't it's not because he was owner of the Nakatomi Towers. Like, it just was what it was. It's just like these guys are in the movie, and they just happen to be a person of color. It wasn't like they weren't like, okay, we have to have this. And I blame a lot of this stuff with the Oscar crap of like, Hollywood saying, oh, there's not enough, black people in the films. No, there's not. Well, guess what? Go make a movie with, be Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is making movies with, mainly black people. Wonderful. Go do that, and then have them be up for Oscars, and shit, as well. Like, include them in the Oscars,
But it goes back to, I think, how it's done. And these days, the writers on these things are not writers at all. They are they're basically, when they're being interviewed, they're being asked, should Bruce Wayne, and I read this, should Bruce Wayne be canceled? And if the person says no, they don't get the job, because Bruce Wayne is a rich white male who has privilege, and so if you don't think that he should be canceled, then you're not getting the job. It's and to kind of go along with something that Donald said about politics, movies have always technically been political in some way. Like Night of the Living Dead is about communism. Dawn of the Dead is consumerism, and Day of the Dead is like the decadent 80s. And so you can put politics into your movie. Like, even the book for I Am Legend is about communism.
But Sean, those are of that time period, right? Of that time period where the politics were about that specific stuff going on. If they made a movie in the 40s, there was war going on, you know, so a lot of times it was an escape, and then there was some political undertones of that stuff. And right now we have the Me Too movement, we have this stuff with that, and that is what they are putting in there, because that is the politics of this time right now. We need to get away from that politics of that time so that we can start having movies that don't have that. So we need people to stop talking about this stuff. And I mean, I want to argue with people, I want to whatever, but I tend to just shut my mouth on it. You know, when people like say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, I tell them, okay, yeah, I agree, you know, kind of thing, because I don't want, you know, I like it's the way that our society is right now, you know, and I'm sort of like, okay, well, I personally won't write anything that's woke, because I'm not a woke person, you know. Like, my stuff's not going to come out woke because I'm not woke, you know. Like, if somebody's woke, they're going to write something that's woke, or if they're paid to write something that's woke, they'll write it woke. If I'm just writing my stories, there's just going to be a white guy writing stories with, you know, different characters, you know.
But if you're a white guy who's just writing stories, you're not going to get a job in Hollywood these days. So that's the thing, is that it's a
scary thought too. Yeah,
from a lot of people that they're not getting work. I mean, now granted, grain of salt, you know, these are videos and articles and things that I've seen and read, so I don't know if they're 100% accurate, but it's, you know, but that's what I'm reading. I mean, and it doesn't seem to be, it's destroying things. I mean, you're taking the way of talent of a lot of good people, and to make something that's like, okay, Mindy Kaling, I'll go back to her. I love her 2 other shows. I love, like, The Sex Life of College Girls. I think it's hilarious. And it's 4 women, and every once in a while, you know, a white person gets knocked, but then so do other people. I think it's hilarious.
What about the Mindy Project?
I never saw the Mindy Project, but I want to see it. And I loved her on The Office, and she was a writer on that. But then when you come out with something like Velma, where it's just so hateful of people, where it's like,
she wrote it?
She's the creator of it. She's the main creator, and she basically plopped herself in as Velma. It's her. She's already admitted that Velma is her. So that's what the people on She-Hulk did. All those writers took all of these politics and inserted their politics into She-Hulk. So instead of just giving us a good TV show, it was all political. It was all politics. And some of the Marvel films I don't see as much. Like, I didn't see it really in Doctor Strange 2. I didn't see it in, like, Shang-Chi. I did love that it was San Francisco, which was awesome. And of course it has Michelle Yeoh, so, you know, can't complain about that.
Yeah, I mean, I like Shang-Chi, but it reminded me a little bit of, like, Crouching Tiger, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, which was fun because it had the chick from Crouching Tiger, Michelle Yeoh, in the movie. So, you know, but
yeah, I just want good movies. I mean, even in Batman v Superman, you know, I think it's the Flash who says, "Well, what's your superpower?" And Bruce Wayne goes, "I'm rich." That right there should have canceled him, you know, because it's just white male rich privilege. I'm rich. And then when Superman at the end, you know, when he gets the farm back for his mom,
it's a joke, but it's sort of true. It's like his superpower is he's rich.
That he's the same thing with Iron Man. Iron Man has no superpower. He's rich.
Well, he's got the super suit, and Batman's got all the,
he's got the technology,
toys.
all the stuff on him.
All the wonderful toys.
Yeah, if you take the Iron Man costume off of him, then he's nothing. So
yeah,
I mean,
he's just a rich asshole, white asshole.
Yeah. So, but you don't think about that while you're watching some of this stuff, because back then Iron Man was well made.
Don't be making fun of my boy.
Who you calling boy? Boy?
Well, I'm sorry, my Iron Man. So don't be talking about That sounded
Talk
really...
about no Iron Boy.
That sounded very LGBTQ right there. Like, don't be talking about my Iron Man.
He ain't no Iron Boy. He's an Iron Man. So it's, I don't know.
There is an Iron Boy, I think.
Oh God. Well, there's Iron Heart, which nobody will watch. That's gonna tank.
I'll watch it.
Oh
I'm gonna
God,
watch all their stuff. I'm gonna watch all of their stuff. I watched.
Why does it?
I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I thought was okay. You know, I watched Moon Knight, which I liked a lot.
Which I've heard is good. Well, I've heard it's okay. I've heard that Werewolf.
It's not the best, but
I've heard it's good.
It could have been cooler, you know, and stuff, but I enjoyed it. You know, I like Oscar Isaacs too. He's really good.
Yeah, he's good.
And then I watched I love the one everybody hates, you know, and stuff, or says nasty, other than She-Hulk, which a lot of people hated, you know, obviously. But everybody hates Hawkeye. Is it Hawkeye? It's not, yeah. Hawkeye.
I think the issue with some of these of why people don't like it is that there's just a female version of everybody, so they could just dump Hawkeye and then bring in female Hawkeye.
Well, right, but that was in the comics. Like, they're not doing anything that's not already in the comics.
But they're not doing it because it's in the comics. They're doing it to replace people. They're doing it to get rid of these people.
Was Jeremy Renner's contract's going to go up, so they need to get rid of him.
Well, he's on his, you know, he almost died. So good luck for him coming. They said it's going to take 2 years.
He's home now. He's home. I just read a post that said,
"Oh, that's good."
He posted that he was watching his TV show Mayor of Kingston with his family at home right now. You know,
yeah,
so
2 years recovery on him too.
Yeah,
so.
good. I mean, I'm glad he's home. And you know what? James Gunn got a lot of flack for like saying something nice about Jeremy Renner while he was in the hospital and everything on Twitter, because he wasn't talking about DC. You know, so all the DC fans were writing saying, you love Marvel way more than you love DC. And he's like, dude, I'm saying,
how about just being a decent human being?
Yeah, just being nice to somebody I know and actually like, or whatever. And then so people were saying that stuff, and then they were like, somebody went off and said something really nasty, like, I hope something, whatever, I don't even want to say it.
Like bad happens to you because
that kind of thing, or to the other person. I don't even want to say it. Like, I literally don't want to say it because I don't want to put that into the universe, like that person did. And because that pisses me off. Like, when I go on Twitter, I do look for like Marvel news, and I look for, DC news now. Originally I didn't care about DC, but now that James Gunn is taking over, I want to see where it goes. Like, I don't want to be one of those people that's just blindly like, fuck James Gunn, let's bring back Zack Snyder. I'm like, no, it's not gonna. The problem was right now they're divided, and it's gonna be a while before people are more on the same page, but they're the people that want change and want something different, and there are people that want to go back to the past and bring back, Zack Snyder, and stuff. I honestly, I didn't care for the Cyborg character. And oh my God, how dare I say that? Because the actor was black, like, and I'm a white guy. I can't say that, but I just didn't care for the way that they did him, because I feel like they didn't give him enough for me to care, So when I watched it,
the Snyder cut gives him a lot more.
Well,
I like him as an actor. I just didn't like his costume. I think there's, he's fine, but I just don't like the costumes that Zack Snyder set up. They just don't look good to me.
No.
So well, before we get too late, Donald had mentioned like the best and the worst type of thing. So since I've already kind of put stuff out there for it, so like my best for DC would be Watchmen. My worst for DC would probably be
DC did Watchmen.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I thought that was like Image or something.
No, it's DC. And probably worst, maybe Green Lantern, just off the top of my head, with Ryan Reynolds.
It's probably one of the worst. Yeah,
that was pretty bad. And then favorite for Marvel would probably be the Dark Knight. And then
wait, what? Dark Knight? That's DC.
Oh, that's DC. I'm sorry. What would be? Oh, the best would be Spider-Man 2.
Okay. I thought you were going to say something about X-Men because I thought you liked X-Men though.
I did, but I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 is absolutely, it's like perfect. It's like it's and I think a lot of people at the time said that it was the best comic book movie ever made. For a while they were even saying it. And then Marvel, the worst. I mean, if we're counting TV shows, it'd be She-Hulk.
Yeah, we're not counting TV shows.
But movies, I would probably have to say Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor: Love and Thunder, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay.
What about you, Donald? I'll go last.
All right. So I'll start with DC. I guess my best. These are just from what I've seen. I guess my best would be Wonder Woman.
Okay. No, that's a good one.
Yeah. And this might be cheating, but my worst would be Wonder Woman 1984.
That's funny.
I mean, it's just like, okay, my favorite one, and then it's like the worst. So
the best and the worst.
Best and the worst. All right, so then I kind of cheated with Marvel. I know, how dare I? I couldn't pick just one, so I'm gonna pick two for my favorite.
Okay.
Okay.
For the best. So best will be Thor Ragnarok and Endgame.
Okay.
I think these are two of the best. Like this, obviously for the ending.
I liked Infinity War better than Endgame. My problem with Endgame was the time travel stuff. Felt like that they had put themselves in a hole and they had to figure out a way to do it. So let's do time travel now. Like we gotta time travel, you know? Like
let's be real here. I think Infinity War and Endgame should have just been one big giant movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like Kill Bill 1 and 2. Like it's pretty much the same.
Should have been just one
movie. Yeah.
And then I gotta agree with John. Worst.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be Thor: Love and Thunder because, I mean, out of all the other ones I've seen, even Black Widow, it wasn't bad. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Black Widow, but it was still enjoyable. I mean, Eternals wasn't the greatest movie ever, but I still enjoyed it. This was the only one that legitimately kind of ticked me off a little bit. So Thor: Love and Thunder, my worst.
Okay, Jonathan.
So, I guess my all right. So yeah. So my favorite DC movie of all time, I think it's gonna have to be Batman Returns. You know, I don't know, something about that movie just always gets me. And I'm not really a big fan of like the DC universe right now. You know, I mean, I guess if I had to do a runner-up for best, it would be it would be the James Gunn Suicide Squad, because I just really liked it, enjoyed it, you know, the goofiness of it and stuff, and had fun time with that. But like, Batman Returns is just amazing. So,
I think so.
Then worst was it DC movie? I was gonna say Justice League, and then I was thinking if there's anything worse than that. I mean, if you go back to Batman, there's Batman and Robin is terrible and awful and just atrocious, and so is Superman 3 is just terrible, you know. And well, no, Superman 4, The Quest or whatever Quest.
Superman 3 has some great stuff in it.
Yeah,
Him fighting himself has some
bits. Yeah, that was better than the quest for whatever.
Which Batman did you say was the worst?
Batman Robin.
Oh, okay.
The one with
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze. I mean, it was too flashy to go back to the Flash stuff we were talking about. It's too flashy, just all the costumes. You can see fucking nipples on fucking Batman. It was just
But
obnoxious.
Batman
George
Returns
Clooney is
doesn't have the
like
back card.
George Clooney is great as fucking Bruce Wayne because he's a, and a rich asshole, in real life. He's perfect. Whatever. So anyway,
I would agree with that. Yeah, I thought he was a really good Bruce Wayne, but not a good Batman.
no. I mean, he wasn't a terrible Batman. It's just the rest of the movie, it just looked terrible, and fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger was not Mr. Freeze. Like whoever thought that was a good casting thought, it was ridiculous.
Have you ever seen James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd?
Yeah.
You remember I think it was like I think it was his review of the Batman movies, and he actually said, I'm giving this one 3 Batman nipples.
There you go. So there's my best and worst of DC. My best favorite Marvel movie. That's tough, man. But I think I'm gonna go with Spider-Man No Way Home. Which I just enjoyed seeing. It was almost like the director of the first 3 Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man stuff, just had the best time, of his life, and he had a blast, and decided to put all the characters back, and whatever, and multiverse stuff is just fun. As far as my runner up was Captain America Civil War, because I fucking love that. I always agree with Iron Man, on this stuff. For some reason, I'm not a Captain America fan, even though I have an Iron Man mug and a Captain America mug, but I got them as a present together, and I just didn't throw Captain America away. So it just fucking pisses me off so much. But I agree with them on the Sokovia Accords, and it gets a really good debate. And then my least favorite Marvel movie. I wanted to say it had to be like one of the Fantastic Four, but I haven't even seen the Miles Teller Fantastic Four. I've heard it's terrible. But I haven't seen it, so I can't say. And I can't hate any of the X-Men, not even 3, because I thought even 3 had some bits that were good, enough where it wasn't that bad. Maybe if I ever watched the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, I'd hate that, because I've heard that was awful. But
have you seen the remake of Fantastic Four?
That's the Miles Tellerman one. Yeah.
Is that one? Yeah.
Oh, that's that. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, that was the Miles Teller one. That was the one that I heard like the director like stormed out of or whatever because he wasn't getting his way and shit like that. And
the history of the movie is better than the film, but I kind of like the movie actually. I
haven't seen it, and I can't say anything, but I've heard terrible things. So whatever.
He wanted to make a horror movie, and they didn't want him to do that, so that they took the film away from him. But he wanted to do a horror film.
Sort of makes sense for Doctor Strange, maybe not for Fantastic Four. They want more lighthearted stuff with that. So I would say my least favorite, because I've also heard the Wolverine is like terrible or whatever, or X-Men Origins, the Wolverine stuff like that are just they're bad, but I still haven't seen them. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just scared to watch something that's terrible. I don't know, but I should, and I will probably at some point. So I guess it's tough because I want to say Thor: The Dark World. I didn't care for. I didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder, but there were still some good scenes in that movie that didn't make me hate it, Like, I didn't like the wokeness, didn't like all that shit. But then there were some cool fucking scenes that just sort of make the movie like an okay watch for me.
I will say one thing in Thor: Love and Thunder's defense: the bad guy was great. I mean, I did enjoy the bad. I did enjoy the bad guy. I thought he was good.
I'll say the movie that I can't watch over and over again is The Eternals. I just can't.
Okay.
It's too long and it's boring, and I just didn't like it. So, it's a hard movie for me to watch again and again. So
Eternals.
I'm gonna say The Eternals is my least favorite.
Okay.
You know, and if you don't like Harry Styles, don't watch the end of The Eternals.
Not a Harry Styles fan.
No.
But he's whatever. You know.
You didn't mind him in Don't Worry, Darling, right?
No, I actually thought he was okay in that. That's fine. Yeah. I just maybe just as an actor he's okay, but I just don't like him as a person. I mean, after all, he did allegedly spit on Captain Kirk. So
and for real, like in real life, or
yeah, Chris Pine. They're saying now that it didn't happen, but at first it was part of that whole thing with that movie that you do see something come out of his mouth and it does hit Chris Pine and he's kind of like, what?
Well, speaking of which, there was a lot of trash with Ezra Miller doing stuff like and there was a video of him choking a fucking fan.
That was the first one. Yeah, that was the first time.
The first crazy thing. Then he would get like assault charges, and he kept telling people, "Oh, I want a gay or non-binary, cop to arrest me. You can't arrest me because you're a white, whatever cop, like straight cop, and stuff like that." He's just nutty. And then he also apparently, my biggest problem with them is I've heard he pretty much grooms girls, little girls, like 13-year-old girls, and then grooms them and then ends up using them for a cult. So I just don't like the guy at all.
The reason why he hasn't been fired, and I looked this up so I got it right, is because he is LGBTQ. That is why he's not fired. They'll fire everybody else, but if they fire him, there's going to be a problem. Oh, I'm sorry, them. They. Even though they're called pronouns, they and them are not pronouns, but that's okay. They're verbs, but that's all right. And so if you just want to steal and make stuff up, but that's okay. But they're not firing him because of that. In the same way that they don't fire just Kathleen Kennedy, it's because she's a woman, so they don't want to fire her because then Disney's going to look awful. But they'll fire men. That has no problem.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's there. So there is. They sit there and say that white people have privilege, and I'm going to say no, not really, not anymore, not now.
Yeah, I mean, we might have used to, but and I'm not. Look, I'm not saying like I get a lot of this stuff. Like I get the I get the idea of wanting to have like more women empowered movies, right? And stuff. And I write a lot of movies where women are of power, and everything. My Supernatural Assassins stuff, Olivia is powerful, right? And she doesn't need, Lucas Van Helsing telling her what to do. You know what I mean? She doesn't need that shit. She's gonna be able to kick ass on her own. I'm just never gonna write it where Lucas is a idiot and can't do anything, and then she has to come save his life. It's more along the lines of the person that's powerful captures Lucas, and Olivia has to save him, and that's the way it should be, sort of thing, because that can
make it believable.
Yeah, right. Because I don't buy like all of a sudden Thor being fat and scared, and the Hulk not being the Hulk anymore after a while because he's terrified of Thanos or whatever it was in Infinity War, which I think I have this feeling it was because they had so much money that they spent on everything else that they didn't have enough money for the CGI of Hulk. So they made him into a pansy, and stuff. And
well, soy boy
kind of
is the correct way to put it, is that he's a soy boy. And it's
I don't know.
a lot of these people, yeah. I mean, I have absolutely no problem with diversity in film. I have no problem with, I mean, I support all that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And but I've seen a ton of Ryan Murphy films and specials and stuff like that, and he is very openly gay. And one of my favorite shows was Scream Queens that he did. But yet I'm not going to go see Bros because, dude, Billy Eichner, you're a fucking asshole. So it's like, no, but I'll watch Ryan Murphy stuff, which is
I loved what was his, I think it was Hollywood. Was that the show or something where it was all about gay Hollywood,
yeah,
and
just
everything?
Hollywood.
And,
yeah,
and I loved it. I watched it with Jackie, and we were just like, did they just do that? Like, that's awesome. Like, holy crap, this is not what I was expecting it to be,
Yeah, his stuff is good. And
I like Ryan Murphy. I didn't know who he was because I never watched Glee, so I didn't know.
Like Glee though.
Yeah, but I never watched that. Then when American Horror Story started coming out and everybody was raving about it and everything, I didn't want to watch it at first because I was like, everybody raved about fucking Walking Dead, and that was a piece of shit. And I hate.
Well, near the end. Well, you don't like zombie stuff, so.
But
it's when they also purposely change things. Like in She-Hulk, in the comic, there is the accident. Bruce Banner brings her back to the lab, and to save her life, is he takes his blood and gives it to her. But God forbid in the TV show that a man save a woman's life. So it has to be when they get into the car crash, their arms go like this, and his blood gets into her. And now she's the Hulk. So
don't even make any sense.
Yeah, so it's just these things are purposely being changed for no reason at all. Okay, so I'm actually taking back my worst DC. So at least Ryan Reynolds is fun in Green Lantern. It has to be Birds of Prey. It has to be.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so poorly made, so awful. And it's another one of those films where, okay, I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't like Trump, but everybody said that the villain is Trump. I'm like, can he just be a bad guy? Can't Ewan McGregor just be bad?
That's what I hated about Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, obviously the bad guy was Trump. And it's like, okay, I don't care if you don't like him. That's fine. You don't have to like Eddie. But can we not be reminded, like again, like I said earlier in the show, can we not be reminded of politics? I want to watch something that's not going to remind me of what's going on right now.
I think, John, you mentioned before, not in the show or anything, but like you've told me before, that you get sick and tired of people saying, the villain is Trump. The villain is our version of Trump. They did that with Star Wars.
Star Trek. They did it with Star Trek Picard.
You said they also did it with Star Wars with, I believe they did that with, in the Darth Vader, was it the Obi-Wan Kenobi show? I think, or no, that's Andor show. Andor show was all about Trump too, and they kind of mentioned that.
Oh, that I don't know. I don't really know anything about it.
You didn't watch Andor, I'm sure, but
no. I mean, I've heard it's good, but I haven't watched it. But the thing with like Picard is, Patrick Stewart even came out and said, "Oh yeah, now Starfleet is like Trump. It's like if Trump ran America." Like if it was a dictatorship, it would be run under Trump. And I'm like, God, come on. Can we just stop? I mean, politics have always been in Star Trek. And in fact, it was dropped, but in the first season, an episode called Conspiracy, we found out that Starfleet was invaded by aliens and that they took over human bodies. And that makes it political. Now you could say the aliens are Chinese or Japanese or Germans or Republicans or whatever you want to say they are, but they never say what they are. And so I stopped watching Picard. I just thought, no, I'm not into this. I just, like Donald said, I just want to be entertained. I just want to have fun. I don't want to go into a movie knowing that, or a TV show that, oh, this is supposed to be the Trump administration.
Okay. So I looked this up. So they said Tony Gilroy, who did Andor, has written, and this is Fiona Shaw, who's the lead of Andor, even though Andor was the lead of Andor, but Tony has written a great scurrilous, I don't know what that word is, scurrilous take on the Trumpian world. Said Shaw. Her or whatever. Our world is exploding in different places right now. People's rights are disappearing, and Andor reflects that. In the show, the Empire is taking over, and it feels like the same thing is happening in reality too. So once again, it goes to the like, why? Why
I'm gonna disagree with that, because Trump never took over. Hitler took over. You could sit there and say a film is about the Vietnam War. You could say it's about World War II. You could say it's about Hitler. You could say Mussolini. But the thing is, Trump was in office for 4 years. That was it. It's not like Trump is in office now and there's going to be no more presidents and we're all living under a dictatorship, and you know, there's a curfew at 6 a.m. and if you go out, or 6 p.m. and you go outside and you get shot. So I mean, I don't think that you could say it's a Trumpian world when Trump was only in office for 4 years.
And it's still not a Trumpian world, like, because Biden is president.
Yeah. I mean, just like you can't, like, you could go back and say, oh, somebody was maybe like George Bush, like George W. Bush.
Right. Yeah, you could say like it was, you could say it's like the era when Trump was president, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, it was that Reaganomics kind of or something like that.
But you can't say Trump, the Trumpian world, because Trump is not the head of the world.
Yeah, you know, we don't know what a Trump world would be like. You know,
so I don't agree with that. I think people should shut the hell up when it comes to like describing their shows and stuff like that. Like, if you even if there is sort of that like overlying feeling of like, okay, the emperor is Trump, you know, that kind of thing. The empire is like if Trump were to like take over the world, you know, right? That is something that you can see in the show yourself if you kind of start going, this feels like that, you know. But I don't like it when people say, oh, this is like that, because, you know, that gives us a one-sided view now. Now all of a sudden that's all we're going to be thinking of is like, oh, this must be like what they're talking about, it being like Trump, you know, and stuff. Like, I feel like people should just let people enjoy the show. Just say it's a great show. We have you know, amazing characters who are very, you know, depth and, you know, whatever. Like, the politics shouldn't even be a part of people's discussion of their shows. You know, that's my
opinion. The way I look at it is, if you want it to be okay, if Trump is your main influence for your bad guy, don't make it obvious.
Right.
Okay, maybe take a little bit, like, okay, maybe take a little bit of what you hated about the guy and add it to the character, but then make him his own character. Don't make him whoever you're basing it on. I don't care who the president is at that point in time. Make it your own. Don't make it, rather it's Donald Trump, rather it's George Bush, rather it's Ronald Reagan, rather it's Joe Biden, whoever. Just make it your own character, and maybe throw a little nod at, oh, this is kind of who we're imitating. We're not going to tell you this is who we're imitating, but this is who we're imitating.
Right. No, I totally agree.
Yeah, and it turns off half your audience. Like, even though I did like, you know, Don't Worry, Honey, it's
Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling. I keep saying honey for some reason.
I don't know
why.
Don't
Worry, Darling. Either do I. Olivia Wilde had said that the Chris Pine character is based on Jordan Peterson, and he is known as the king of the incels. And okay, so now you got Jordan Peterson out there talking about it. You got all the conservatives hating it because they're like, okay, well, why are you picking on Jordan Peterson? I'm not a fan of Jordan Peterson. But the thing is, you've now turned off half your audience.
Right.
So if you're saying in Black Panther, now I'm saying Black Panther when I mean Black Widow, and that the main bad guy is, oh yeah, he's meant to be Donald Trump, you're going to lose half your audience.
Now you have the conservatives hating your movie.
Yeah.
And then if you say it's based on Joe Biden, you're going to have the Democrats hating your movie.
He's just he's just a Bond villain. Just call him that. He's just an evil Bond villain. What's wrong with that?
He's an evil bad guy just trying to take over the world. He's trying to take over. He's trying to do this. He's trying to do that. He's in it for money. He's in it for power. He's in it for wealth. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So I totally agree. And here's the thing. You've got those really hardcore, one way or the other people, right? Like they're far left or far right, and they are going to push their political agendas. And we see this in the indie world. There is a particular filmmaker, I'm not going to say his name or anything. There's a particular filmmaker out there that will go and be on a quest to destroy Hollywood people and say, if you support this person, you can unfriend me now and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why are you like and then if I say, man, you're kind of alienating like half of your fans by saying you don't like these like certain people or whatever. And then you'll be like, well, if they don't like it, then I don't want them to be fans of mine. And I'm like, so you don't want money, you don't want hits on your, trailers for your YouTube channel, like you don't want attention. You want, you want only a certain group of people to follow you. And I think, to be honest, I am not one or the other. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a non-political person. But I kind of I want all people to be friends with me, Look, I don't want I like everybody, whether you voted for Biden or whether you voted for Trump, I don't care. Like, it's not my business, and everything.
I just don't tell anybody my political beliefs because then everybody hates me.
And if people hate me for being non-political, they're stupid, in my opinion.
Well,
that sounds terrible, but
you just have to do stuff like we all know Hydra are Nazis.
Hail Hydra!
Hail Hydra! I mean, destroy Hydra. But we know that that's the Nazis. We know that the Red Skull is with the Nazis and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're out there defending Hitler, like certain singers do, then maybe there's a problem. But there are, when you have somebody like China
or Alyssa
telling
Milano,
Marvel what to do.
Alyssa Milano,
she's way far too left.
Well, she also defended. Well, she made a big mistake on Twitter, I think it was, or like and whatnot, where she actually said that Elon Musk, she wasn't gonna buy his car because it was, whatever, and then she ended up saying a Volkswagen. She was going to buy a Volkswagen or something, which was funded by the Hitler. It's just she was an idiot. She just didn't do her research.
You realize that these people are dumb. That they're just dumb, and it's.
I love Alyssa Milano though. I adore her. I think I just don't necessarily, like that she's so political. Because
she's dumb political.
I think a lot of people are going to. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I
just wish to kind of take this back to what we're originally talking about, is because we should wrap this up soon. I just wish movies would be good. I don't need to know this character is based on a politician. I don't need to. Unless you're making an actual thing. So if it's like that movie, The Master, well, that was all about Scientology. So we know that going into it, what this is. But when Disney does it, and it's especially Disney, and there are people out there now that, there's other companies that do it too, but when Disney, bends the knee to China, and when China's horrible, you know, I have a problem with that, and I don't really want to watch their movies because they're going to do things like remove Finn from the poster because Chinese people don't like black people. So,
oh, I hope not.
That's absolutely 100% true.
But
So
I hope they don't do that.
they
I
do.
mean,
Go look at the posters for the last Star Wars movies. Finn on the American posters is this big. Finn on the Chinese posters is this big. They don't like black people, and they also don't like women that are on the same level as men. So that's why certain films bomb over there. So they had Terminator Genesis did well because it was two guys and one woman, but Terminator Dark Fate tanked because it's more or less an all-female cast. So they feel that women are down here while men are here, and they don't like black people. It's very true.
well, I'm very surprised then because Wakanda Forever is going over there right now, I believe.
Well, look at Black Panther. The American poster for Black Panther had him without the mask on. The one for China, he's wearing the mask to show that he's not black.
Let me look this up. I am
this is why I have a problem with people who are like so liberal and they're all to the left and they're woke and oh no, but Disney is great. You know, it's like, really?
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like
it's terrible.
When Disney made Mulan, the actress who played the lead, Mulan, is actually, she defends their government and has no problem with like them being a military dictatorship, and only miles away from where they were filming. And I'm no Muslim fan. I mean, I'm atheist, so I don't like any religion, but they have Muslim internment camps. They're right on the border. So when you get things that say made in China, they're actually made by Muslims. But yet Disney has to bend the knee, and now they're putting out statements to their actors and stuff saying, you know, you can't say certain things about China if you're going to work for this company, because we need to get our movies over there.
Right.
So
I want to see what they do for the Chinese poster for Wakanda Forever, if they even promote a poster, you know, because there is no like mask for her, I don't think. So that'll be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just none of it makes sense.
I don't know. It honestly, it's because they want more money, as much money as they can get. You know, they're greedy. You know, but it also, I mean, that sort of makes sense. That's why, you know, investors want more money, right? The people put the money up for the you know, and the investors in this case are like stockholders of you know, people who hold stock in Disney stock, you know, and everything. So I don't know. It is whatever. You know, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna say, you know, China doesn't deserve any of our movies. They probably don't. But I'm just saying that I get the love for wanting to make more money, you know? Like that's the quest for everybody, you know?
Well, but is it okay for censorship though?
We get censorship on Facebook.
Yeah, but at least that's still in America though. I mean, for them to release, you know, for like Marvel and Disney to release a movie in China, or actually this has happened in Iran too, is that they have to remove certain scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of LGBT. They don't like LGBTQ stuff.
They don't like gay people.
Yeah.
So, but yet we're like, oh no, please play our movies, even though they're being censored.
But I mean, I'm not over there. I'm not in China. Like I don't plan to ever go there and visit. I mean, so I won't be watching their movies, but I'll be like happy that they made more money so they can make more movies. I don't know. I like Marvel.
Well,
like, no matter what. So I want them to keep making more money.
But also remember, China owns AMC theaters. So if
I don't. Well, I do Regal.
So, but they own a major chain in America. So
they own TikTok.
I heard they did own TikTok, and then somebody bought it. I wouldn't do TikTok.
I had heard that too, and then I've heard that they're still in. I heard recently that they're still they still have a thing in there because my I live in Virginia, and my government has just gotten rid of TikTok, banned TikTok from not me, like the regular person, but people who work in the government, facilities, because they believe that, I guess, China is trying to steal our information.
They believe that the Chinese Communist Party is trying to get information from us through TikTok, and they don't want people with that on their phones in the government. Then
in the government, yeah. So they just banned that from all of people in Virginia. Our governor actually said something about that. So I was thinking they're going to ban like everybody in Virginia, from TikTok. I was like, oh, I don't know how that's going to happen, but okay, like I guess that could. All of a sudden, it might not work on my phone,
Right.
Which would be terrible because I do a lot of TikTok stuff, So.
Well, then somebody will just make something else that's like TikTok, and then you could use that if you want.
That's right. It'll come along sometime anyway, because that's just what happens.
So, all right. Well, let's wrap this up then. Any final words on superheroes, China, agenda,
Marvel rocks,
anything like that?
That's my only opinion. I think
we've covered
Marvel's
all
the
bases.
best. Fuck DC.
Ooh.
I'm kidding, James Gunn. Don't hate me.
No, you man up and you admit you don't like DC.
I don't hate DC. I like old school DC more than new school DC. So I'm hoping James Gunn really brings it back. That's my final thought. I hope James Gunn really does do something. If it goes woker, is that a word? I don't know. I just made that up. More woke is really the term, I guess. But if it becomes woker, then I will not probably enjoy
opt
it.
Out.
Yeah, I'll probably be like, all right, James, you had your try, but you failed. Moving on. But so I'll still give it a shot, and he's gonna make some announcements soon. So I'm excited to see who they announce is still back. If they announce Ezra Miller is back, and he's gonna whatever, I'm gonna say no, I'm done. And I will publicly say that to James. I'll say, dude, you had me at a chance, but I can't support you anymore. But all these rumors are saying that Ezra Miller is coming back, and I don't know if I believe that or not until I hear from the man himself.
The last thing I'll say about Ezra Miller is I just think that they should just release the movie and don't worry about it. Just release Aquaman. Don't worry about Amber Heard, and
release Batwoman.
Just put it on to if anything, just put
Max,
it on HBO Max. Yeah, and just do it that way. And
at least people get to see it.
Yeah, and then just we're not renewing your contracts anymore.
Right.
But just get the movie out there. I've heard that they're already cutting like Michael Keaton and stuff like that from it, that he was in Aquaman 2, now he's not. But now he's in the Flash movie.
But now Ben Affleck is the new Batman in that one, apparently.
And it's like it's first of all, I like Ben Affleck, but fuck, I want to see Michael Keaton. I don't want him to have like a 2-second cameo. I want to see him doing some stuff as Batman, not Bruce Wayne. So I don't know. Well, they just all seem to be screwed up right now.
We know that Warner Brothers does one thing good, which is the Conjuring universe, and they can continue doing that. Well, yes. I'll be happy.
There you go.
That hasn't been woke or anything, No,
not yet. Because most of those characters have all been women. So which for some reason ghosts seem to haunt more than men, I guess.
But it works. It doesn't bother me. It's not like
Oh no, I'm not saying it as a bad thing. It's just they seem to, those movies, they always seem to haunt women. Annabelle haunts the woman, you know, Conjuring 1 and 2, it's a
and
woman.
it's never like the men are doofuses who,
No.
don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're usually helping the women out if they can, but the women are also strong and able and
And so
everything
are the
like that
kids,
too.
which
Yeah, so are the
sometimes
kids.
are half male, half female, and the kids are normally pretty good too. So, but yeah. So they got that.
So anyway, the Conjuring universe is the best from WB right now.
I would agree with that. Yes. So,
but I'm afraid because Peter Safran's leaving, I think, like he's at least doing more with DC, so he might be kind of leaving away. And I think he might have been one of the good reasons why like the Conjuring universe was good, So who knows? Maybe he'll bring all that good juju over to DC.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe. So, Donald, any last words, and then we'll take off.
We hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's the only thing I can say for the Marvel and DC. I hope they can do better. I mean, Phase 4 wasn't terrible, but it could be better.
No, it's definitely could be better. And Phase 5's, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and stuff, which sadly, Bill Murray's already just got canceled and he's in there, but they haven't, as far as I know, they haven't got
canceled. I mean, that's what I kept saying earlier.
Old people get canceled all the time because they're old and they don't.
The young people want to get rid of the old, and that's why they're canceling all the old people, because they want to, they're part of the old guard and they don't want them in there anymore.
Because the older people are from that time period where they just didn't care if they offend you. Hey, suck it up and deal with it.
Real quick. One of the guys from the Goldbergs got fired, like one of the main guys from the Goldbergs. I told my brother about that. He was like, "What the hell?" But because he hugged somebody, because he gave a hug to somebody and they didn't like it and they reported it and the guy got fired. Like, what? You're not allowed to hug people? So
where do we draw the line?
I understand. What? Like, what is going on with this world? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's driving me a little nuts. I don't know.
I mean, it's like this, okay? If you don't like if you're not a hugger, just say, okay, hey,
yeah. He didn't. I don't think the person even told him.
I'll give you a fist bump.
That
I'll give you a fist bump, or I'll give you a handshake, but I don't do hugs. Okay, fine.
Yeah, exactly. But didn't even tell him that. They just did not feel comfortable with the hug, and they went and told, and HR apparently. Yeah. So, just saying, we're living in a really terrible time right now where you can't even hug anybody. So,
everything is offensive or worthy of canceled. So
it will end soon once they start realizing that money is not being made. I mean, that it will stop eventually. Then all this foolishness will end.
Let's hope.
I mean,
let's hope.
It's because Hollywood, they say, has had its worst. Last year was its worst year in like 60 years.
A lot of that has to do with the theaters. Like, nobody really wants to go to the theaters anymore. Everybody's watching things at home. They're not making money off of streaming like they should.
But they do go to the theaters because of Top Gun and Spider-Man. So people do want to go to the theaters. They just want to see good movies.
Right. Yeah.
So you make a good Marvel movie, you make a good DC movie, you make a good Star Wars movie, people will go. But once they find out it's bad, they're not going to go. I mean, that was the whole thing.
Or if it looks bad, the trailers.
But that was the whole thing with Top Gun, is nobody thought this film was going to do any money. But it was word of mouth. It was like, no, it's really good. And then 10 people went, 20, 50, 100,000, and now it's one of the highest grossing movies ever.
Yep.
So it's sometimes it's word of mouth, or it's just simply Spider-Man, that people love Spider-Man. So
people have loved Spider-Man since the first, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
People love Spider-Man since the first comic book. I mean, he's probably been the biggest and most loved Marvel character. So he's mine. So, you know.
All right, real quick. Who's the best Spider-Man?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Um,
Go ahead, John.
God, I don't know if I can. I don't know. I want to say Tobey Maguire only because those were like the first ones, and those were like the big ones. But I don't think he was really Spider-Man. If you look at the comic books, I'd almost say Garfield would probably be my favorite, even though his movies weren't great. But I think that he probably embodied it the most.
I would disagree. I'd say Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland a lot, you know, and I think he was a kid, you know, which the other ones were more like he was, you know, really more in his 20s that he was, you know, that they focused on, you know, and stuff. So this was actually high school, you know, kind of awkward Peter Parker, which I liked. So, what about you, Donald?
I'll say this. I think Tom Holland is probably the best of both. You see, the way I look at it, Tobey Maguire was pulled off the Peter Parker, but not quite the Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield pulled off the Spider-Man, but not quite the Peter Parker. So Tom Holland is the first one that actually kind of pulls both of them.
Do both, yeah.
So that's what I say. I like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I mean, I grew up with watching these, so when it comes to nostalgia reasons, I love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But when I have to see what's more loyal to the comics, I have to give it to Tom Holland for doing both.
Okay.
All right.
I would say that he embodies the comic books the most because he is young and all that type of stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do that cartoon, which I'm excited about. Spider-Man freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
should be fun.
And there you go. I'll say Into the Spider-Verse, you had a black Spider-Man and nobody complained.
They're going to possibly bring that back.
I heard that they were going to do
Miles Monroe was good. I liked
Miles Morales, and Miles Morales was so they're talking to, I really hope this isn't true, but there was a rumor at one point that Jaden Smith was going to be Miles Morales, and I really hope, but that was like right before his father slapped Chris Rock.
I will burn down the world if that happens. I will somehow figure out how to burn the entire world down if Jaden Smith enters the Marvel universe.
He might, because his dad's rich enough to like pull strings and everything. But right now his dad's not as liked and
nobody
as
will
respected.
Nobody likes Jaden Smith. Nobody likes the Smiths, period. No.
Yeah.
No, please. That's a whole other video. I could go on for 2 hours of why I don't like this.
I mean, I've always heard really, because I know people actually know Will Smith, have like hung out with him and stuff. And he was in the Fresh Prince days one of the nicest people, you know, like he was just a nice, genuinely caring guy. I think the problem is once you become a movie star, you know, it becomes, and you have a family and you kind of say, okay, well, for my son's birthday, I'm going to buy him fucking Karate Kid,
which is what he did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you do stuff like that, because you're rich, you know, it kind of becomes this thing of like, why? Like, I mean, why don't you just spend that money on having your kid have acting lessons, you know? Because, you know.
Well, yeah, and I don't mind Will Smith as an actor. I mean, I thought he was fine in Suicide Squad. I mean,
I think Jaden's a terrible actor.
Jaden is garbage, and yes, yeah. So that's we could go on and on about this, but we should wrap this up because I'm going to get mad with the Smiths. So they just anger me.
John, that's what they want to see. They want to see you get angry.
I'm going to do a TV show called The Smiths, just so John can get angry every time he sees the title, The Smiths. Damn it!
It's okay as long as it doesn't have the cucked Will Smith in it. So,
we're gonna do some montages of Will Smith just being Will Smith.
Ugh.
Just for you, John. Just for you.
Just for you. All right, we're done.
All right, everybody. Yeah, this has gone on a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So, thank you both for being here.
Didn't you say
Donald.
2 hours?
Yeah, but if we started at 7:10,
I know we're almost at 3.
Yeah, so
God,
luckily,
as long as the fucking Batman movie.
Yes. As I choked to death. But the good thing is people have told me that a lot of the times they just play this, like they're at work and they just listen. So they're not really watching video or like actually sitting down. They're playing it while they're working or doing something like that. So 3 hours is as long as we don't go over that, then that's okay. I think they're fine with that. So
your friends will be happy.
That's right. That's right.
If they're this far, God bless you. If you're this far,
God bless us awesome. All. All right. So now I mean it this time. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Donald.
Yes, and this was a good conversation, and like I said, I think we covered all the bases of this, from
I hope so,
comic books to movies to politics to everything. So yeah, I think
things we didn't even need to talk about. Yeah,
that's right. But we're somehow still part of that. So in a way. So all right, everybody. I will talk with you on the next one, and I don't think Donald and I have an idea of what the next one will be. So we'll have to discuss that. So
we'll figure it out.
That's right. So, all right, everybody. I will see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.